The Godfather. Yeah, the Godfather. 2020 was a bitch. What? All I wanna do is this. What? Twin near 21. Come on. A nigga thought he was done. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Last year was a bitch. Good guys took over this shit. All I wanna do is this. New niggas from everywhere. New niggas getting sentenced there. DERELL was always aware, but my roast was too hard to bear. There ain't no fucking stopping me. Detroit nigga pocket watching me. I rose the channel from the dead. Turn a bank account from black to red. New niggas tried to make a name. Tried to challenge me and put me to shame. 1 month after another. Can't stop the Godfather. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Find a nigga fucking house soon. Word about a damn auto-tune. Let a nigga beef in peace. When you gonna release a beat? Motherfucker in the manosphere. Lame ass can't keep it real. Called channel 2 cause he couldn't take it. Next week channel terminated. Everybody gotta deal with trolls. Communist bitches with fucked up froze. Nigga lose their damn job over dough. Roman and white fucking slow. Andrew Stewart on the last leg. No far found from the state feds. If I ain't talking about you, that mean you ain't working, that's the fucking truth. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. Hating ass bitches everywhere. Dick riding in the air. Good guys better be aware. Hating niggas better be aware. "2020 was a bitch. All I wanna do is this. Motherfucking Godfather. 2021. Nigga thought he was done. 2020 was a bitch. All I wanna do is this. Motherfucking Godfather. 2021. What? A nigga thought he was done.
Welcome, everybody. This is DERELL with DERELL the Rebirth. I'm happy to be here once again. Late night, we got a special edition of DERELL the Rebirth, in which I'm going to talk about a little situation with me interacting in the motherfucking manosphere, like I always do. So I usually don't go live. I don't do as many lives as I used to, mostly in the daytime. I decided to do this live stream because it's one of 2 live streams that I will be uploading and having a discussion in regards to the stupid ass shit that goes on in the manosphere. And when people try to talk to them and have a discussion, intellectual conversation, I'm going to tell you what the hell happened. So again, guys, this is the Black Manosphere. This is an alternative to the Manosphere. This is a sector which comprised of intelligent, responsible, logical Black men who understand the importance of family, who understand the importance of fatherhood, who understand the ability to respect women, to basically honor women, to have intellectual conversation, understand their needs. Not about every time you interact with a woman, you're arguing and you're spewing out stupid ass statistics that are relevant to the goddamn situation, like I've been doing. And so this is another, I'm going to show you guys another situation that these guys cannot stand to be challenged. That's one of the reasons why they have issues with women, because they don't want women to challenge them, and they can't stand men challenging them. What they want you to do is listen to stupid ass rhetoric with no basis, no logic. And unfortunately for those who listen to them, just because someone spews out research, statistics, and numbers, it doesn't mean anything, particularly if it's taken out of context. So again, guys, this is the Manosphere, led by yours only, yours truly, DERELL. So we're going to have a discussion. We are going to have a discussion. So many of you may know a brother by the name of Sergeant, policeman guy Charles Faulkner, who's a policeman in the Baltimore area. Been in this space for a little bit. I've interacted with him before on other channels. He has the capacity to get on panel and spew out the stuff about how bad Black women are. All the fucking time. Diversity in their goddamn content. And of course, in the manosphere, we think, I don't get it how you think shitting on women every day is going to make something change. It's not going to change your pathetic life. It's not going to change the world. No, there's not this huge group of women who are men, who are gravitating towards red technology because they're not. And they know that. Then when an average person listens to this shit, they think you're crazy as fuck. But I'm going to basically show you an example of why you are crazy as fuck, and why red pill ideology will never, and I mean will never ever get the attention that you think it will. And one of the reasons it will never get the attention that you think it's going to get, because the shit don't make any sense. Appreciate it. I got 9 people in the chat. Thank you all for coming in. It's good to get the lights up. We're going to have a good one. I may open up the panel for those that are in the community watching as I continue to talk about this topic. Again, I don't go into the manosphere spaces debating like I used to. This is one of the reasons. But this week I had time. So because I had time this week, I went over there by Charles Faulkner that night. I watched him. I watched a few of other people. And then I had a little interaction with Mr. BGS Fakemore on a Mary Brown's channel. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. What's up, Abdul Jones? What's up, brother? Appreciate you for coming in. We're going to go ahead and get this cracking. Okay? So, we're going to go ahead and play this interaction that I had with Charles Faulkner and his Goonie Goons.
Let me say this.
No, brother. Let me say this. Let me say this because this is important.
Okay,
I don't want us to get off into blaming niggas somehow. Please, let's go back to talking about the lady in her response. You came in. I don't want you to derail the conversation
I
until
did
you
not
niggas
derail
ain't
the.
shit, man.
I was asked the
Yeah,
question.
you
I
did,
didn't
and I
derail
really wanted to
anything.
not
The
go
brother
at
asked me
into
what
how
I objected to.
and you're going at raw, and you're
Brother, didn't
answering
you ask
Charles'
me what
question.
I objected to?
I,
That's
I
what he
get what
asked me what I
I
objected
know
to. I answered the
know what
question.
I know
The
what Charles
brother
asked.
asked me what I objected to.
I hear you,
answered the
brother. I
question.
hear
If
you.
you like the answer, that's
I,
your problem.
no,
He asked me a
it's not
question.
even that I don't like the
He
answer.
asked me a question.
It's
Why
not
are you
even
so
that.
emotional? Why are you so emotional?
Nigga,
I'm gonna say
this is
this.
how I
I'm
speak.
Why
Nobody
you
thinks
think
I'm
the
emotional.
brother
Hold
asked
on.
me a question?
Hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Anybody think I'm being emotional?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
get
even.
very emotional. You sound
Hold
like
on. I'm gonna say this, right? When you look at black people,
okay,
the most studied motherfuckers in this country ever, the most studied motherfuckers in this country, there ain't a goddamn vague about us that they studied. Okay?
facts.
When you look at our economics, when you look at our social skills.
Now I want to stop there because I basically came in giving correctional information on Rael, not understanding attachment theory and not understanding uh, Pavlovian theory also in regards to classical conditioning. So I'm gonna go a little further because what happened was when I came in, they didn't think it was me. I'm gonna go back a little further so you can listen to this.
Broke down and started crying to me. And I was like, yo, what's wrong with you? And she said to me, well, I know you treat me good and you put me on a pedestal, but I just deep down, I don't feel like I'm worthy of you. And I was like, man, where you get that from? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, nah, man, you good. And it just came out of nowhere. We weren't arguing, wasn't no beef or nothing at that time. She just broke down and started crying. We was just watching TV. And now looking back on it, as I read about this stuff before, I'm seeing now like that's really where it came from. And so none of this stuff is ever going to make sense because it's some psychological trauma. This is what I've been trying to tell black men for so long. Black men got to stop internalizing like this is their fault.
Let me point out, he's trying to give a psychological explanation to black women's behavior and how it affects black men. Again, this is not a trained professional. You don't know shit about psychology. You don't know anything about counseling. But all of a sudden, he's going to give a theoretical explanation to why black women do things and how it affects black women. The shit is ridiculous. This is a Negro that you don't know what the fuck he does. Probably still live with his mom and got a fifth grade education.
Because the more black men internalize that this is their fault, that this is something that they have to solve, it lets the main culprits off the hook, which is their mothers. This is who is being let off the hook the most.
So now we're going to blame black mothers for doing the best that they can to raise your silly asses, your sorry asses. First of all, you're not going to even talk about the fact that you're not going to blame your father that wasn't there, but you're going to put it all on your mother, but you're not going to put anything on the motherfucker who made you and decided he didn't want to give a damn about you and make sure you would have a good life. See, this is the illogical stance of these Negroes in the manosphere that make no goddamn sense. I've never been in a space where there's supposed to be quote unquote intelligent men who cannot look at anything from a non-gender basis. How in the hell you are going to blame just one parent? You were made by two parents, the union of two parents. But we're going to excuse all the bullshit that black men do. So when I came up there, I came to give rise and challenge them on black male accountability, which for some reason is elusive in this space. But watch and listen to the emotionality that was given back to me, the the criticism, the anger, because I challenge them on it. Just listen.
Yeah, the female is going out into the world and acting out the bullshit. But the people who are getting away with it the most, because these women are not getting away with it, they're going to suffer from this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why they're complaining about Bronny James going to the prom, because they see the writing on the wall.
Yep.
This is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. What the hell does a 16, 17-year-old kid going to the prom? That's nothing new. You know how long black boys as teenagers been taking white girls to the prom? And all of a sudden, because little Bronny decided to take a white girl to the prom, it's supposed to change the goddamn game? Do you realize over the last 30 plus years since desegregation, 40 years, black men have been taking white girls to prom, and all of a sudden, because of a notable son of one of the greatest basketball players ever, and he's getting his name through social media, just because he decided to take a white girl to the prom, all of a sudden now, this is supposed to give rise to some change that's going to force black women to realize that they need us. You see, this is the problem. You don't understand relationship dynamics. You Negroes never talk about bonding. You never talk about friendship. You never talk about collaborative behavior. You never talk about love. You never talk about the emotional buildup of a relationship. You think a relationship is based on wants, needs, roles, necessity, and survival, and finances. The reason why you continue to stick on these issues because you Negroes in this space are unable and don't have the emotional nor the social capital or intelligence to connect with women. And because of that, you blame women for your faults and you blame women for your failures and you blame women for why they don't want to give you anything. It's their fault, but it's not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. You lame as hell, but ain't nothing wrong with you. You're rude as hell, there's nothing wrong with you. You asking a motherfucker the first time you see them in 10 minutes, are you gonna be submissive? Some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard of in my life. What's up, Miss Furlow Speaks? How you doing? It's good to see you here. This is the problem. Let me continue.
That the younger generation of men ain't tolerating the bullshit. All the pro-black stuff that a lot of us grew up on in the Public Enemy and Back to Africa.
That's
stuff,
dead with millennials.
that shit is gone. It's over with, bro. And so now they're seeing that they haven't raised daughters who are capable of getting a Bronny James when he is of age, when he's in a position to be married and carry on from what his father has set up for him. And so I was watching this one video where
while they were talking about this nonsense, I was asked by AJ, who's a frequent person on Reg the Bad Guys channel, to come up. I was talking about the shit that they were saying that make no goddamn sense. So they get me up. And this is what happened.
Woman she was talking about in the high schools, and she was saying how the black girls are seeing that the black dudes, you know, who might be popular in the sports and stuff like that, and just in general, they're not choosing them. And this is at the high school level. So this is a whole, I mean, you're seeing black females get on social media talking about black dudes don't come to us in the club and talk to us. Somebody has to answer for that. And it ain't gonna be black men, because black men are checking out anyway. So they're gonna.
What the fuck are you talking about? Do you Negroes ever go to a club? Do you get out? First of all, little black boys are naturally attracted to and want to be with black girls for the most part. Is there going to be a percentage that would like to date around or date other races? Yes. You want to focus on the athletes? What about the straight A student? What about the B student? What about the kid who has an invention? What about the kids that may not be athletes? Instead of focusing on guys that want to be in the limelight, why are we not focusing on those kids who will have great careers wherever they want to go, whatever they want to do, whether it's technical, educational wise, financial wise, and abroad, who are going to make tons of money, who are going to be highly successful? What about the kids who make 60, 70, 80 grand? Who are going to live a decent middle class lifestyle? Why are we so focused on the top tier, which is the minority of our group? You have a better chance of getting struck down by lightning than going to the NBA. You have a better chance of surviving a goddamn hurricane than going to the NBA. If you're worried about the people in the limelight, I'm more concerned about the A, B student, or even the C student who can apply themselves, who want to do well, who has a great work ethic, who's going to make a great career either in a middle class, upper middle class lifestyle. Because that's where most people are going to fit in. You ain't going to a club. Do you even go to clubs? These Negroes don't go to clubs. How the hell are you going to say people going to clubs and are not engaged? That's a goddamn lie. What club are you going to? I heard some female a while back say that they saw something like that. That's anecdotal. That's not the average. Get off of YouTube or get off social media, get off of that in this space where you think people are not really engaging in our community. And they are. We continue to have a positive birth rate. So something is going on to continue to have a positive birth rate. But see, again, this is false information that is given. If you have these fools sitting there listening, thinking that he's spitting out. Let me continue.
Like, Shay, that's y'all shit y'all got to deal with in terms of the younger generation. But they're going to be left. They're going to be the ones left holding the bag. And I keep telling a lot of women, you might think that you're in a better position now, but wait till your mom passes. When your mom die on you, and ain't nobody there to hold you up with that bullshit, you gonna really see how you really gonna have to earn your keep out here in the real world, and it's gonna be brutal. You better off getting a man before your mom passed and getting your shit right. So when that moment comes, you can have somebody there that could be there for you when you take that loss. But if you ain't got if your dad ain't around and your mom passed and you out here by yourself, it's gonna be a shit creep.
God forbid you don't get.
What in the hell is he talking about? This makes no goddamn sense. It actually is making a fucking big thing that this lame ass Negro, who probably ain't making no more than $30,000 a year, is sitting here talking about when your mom died, what you gonna do? If your dad died, you ain't gonna have nobody, you gonna need a man. See, this is the problem. Everything is based on need and survival, and where you must want somebody instead of, where you are wanting to be with someone out of necessity. It has nothing to do with the fact that you want to connect with someone. It has nothing to do because you just want to be with someone, you want to love on someone, you want to grow with somebody. See, this speaks to the immaturity of the manosphere. This speaks to the immaturity that they don't understand the dynamics of relationships. No woman wants to be in a relationship where they're not valued. No woman wants to be in a relationship where she don't feel loved and appreciated. No woman wants to be in a relationship only for the fact that she needs you out of survival. Because while she needs you for survival, she's going to fantasize about the men she really want to be with. And that's why you Negroes get cheated on and get left behind. And then you're mad because it's all you think it's all her fault. No, it's your fault. Because you don't know how to show gratitude, love, appreciation for women. And that's why you get passed over. That's why you continue to get turned down. And that's why you niggas got a hard time getting this. Facts.
Got no siblings on top of that.
Yep, and I'm gonna read this the super chat from Savant88. Woo! It's sad how our black women in the community say we need to build, but they don't.
By outside forces?
In what manner? What are you speaking of? Give me context.
Psychologically, socially, economically,
And
educationally?
That is vague. Please give me context.
Now I'm coming to the forefront, and I'm questioning their behavior. I'm questioning their talking points, and they pissed off. Listen to them as I speak. Now they put up the screen because they thought I was doing a thing. Like I'm actually going to try to foreign bomb them or something. I had no reason to do that. But of course, the fanatics did, so you know.
Are you? If
I may, Raw, this is important. Let me get this out real quick.
Let me say this.
No, brother. Let me say this. Let me say this because this is important.
Okay,
I don't want us to get off into blaming niggas somehow. Please, let's go back to talking about the lady in her response. You came in. I don't want you.
This lame ass incel, Mr. Z, nobody's blaming black men for anything. But the obvious is the obvious. You don't have a problem with me blaming black men for anything. You have a problem with me blaming black men for something. You don't have a problem with me just going in on black women for everything. This is the illogical thought process of these Negroes. They're delusional.
To derail the conversation
I
into
did
you
not
niggas
derail
ain't
the.
shit, man.
I was
You,
asked the
yeah,
question.
you did, and I really want us to not go off into how and you're going at Raw, and you're
Brother, didn't you
answering Charles'
ask me what
question.
I objected to? That's what he asked. He asked me what I objected
I know,
to.
I know what Charles asked. I know what Charles
Brother
asked.
asked me what I objected to.
I hear you,
answered
brother.
the
I
question.
hear
If
you.
I like the answer. That's your problem.
No.
He asked
No,
me a
it's not
question.
even that I don't like the
He
answer.
asked me a question.
It's
Why
not
are you
even
so
that.
emotional? Why are you so emotional?
Nigga,
I'm gonna say
this is
this.
how I feel.
I'm
Why
Nobody
you
thinks
think
I'm
this? The
emotional.
brother asked me a question.
Hold on.
Whoa.
One. Hold on.
Anybody think I'm being emotional?
No,
Yeah,
not
you're
even.
very emotional. You
Hold
sound like
on. I'm gonna say this, right? When you look at black people,
okay,
the most studied motherfuckers in this country ever, the most studied motherfuckers in this country, there ain't a goddamn vague about us that they studied. Okay?
Facts.
When you look at our economics, when you look at our social skills with each other, the reason why this chick didn't fucking think a fucking scientist, a nuclear physicist wasn't good enough for her is because of her fucked up social skills in the first place.
Let me stop there. Again, these fools sitting here worrying about Laura Harvey, who's a goddamn millionaire and an heiress to Steve Harvey's wealth. These Negroes sitting here worried about a female having an interaction with a guy who, quote unquote, supposedly was an astrophysicist, and the fact that she decided she wasn't interested. Just because you are an astrophysicist, don't mean you're a good man. And that goes Mr. Simp ass Faulkner right there. Look at him. Woo! You a clown. No, Negro, you a clown. And if you want to get up here and challenge me, let me make a fool out of you just like I did your boy BGS the other day. You're not on my level, Charles Faulkner Jr. Intellectually, financially, and so on. Negro, do you have an effective relationship? Do you have a consistent relationship? Are you married? I can account for all those things, Charles. What can you account for? You can't account for a goddamn thing. You know why? Because you're lame. You're lame and you don't know statistics. You don't know how, you don't understand the fundamentals of statistics. You don't understand research. You don't understand psychology. You don't understand sociology. All you understand is red pill bullshit. And that's why you're going to continue to complain and be in the same position you were when you first entered into this space. And that's not knowing shit about women and continuing to have the faults that you have, you know. And then you're going to say this, why don't you stop lying? All you want to do is make it the man's fault, the female's bad decision. See, this is representative of the dumb ass, unintellectual, illogical ass statement. Nobody said anything about anything being anybody's fault. The problem when you have people who have an unbalanced mindset like you don't want to deal with black male accountability. I never said that black females were never immune from responsibility because black women are responsible for a lot of shit. But at the same time, we're the men in the black community comes and goes through men. Can you understand that, Mr. Charles? Let me continue.
She thinks she's better than this motherfucker. She thinks she could get better than this motherfucker. When actually, men date down. You know
Can I
why?
ask you a question?
Not yet.
Okay, so how do you know that, Charles?
How do we know that?
Yeah, how do you know that?
Simple ass question.
She just showed
How do you know? But Charles, when we're looking at we have to understand the environment in which that was done. I mean that was not a typical social situation or interaction.
It doesn't matter, DERELL.
Wait, hold on. Can I finish my? Can I finish?
Go ahead, bro.
Finish my? What I'm stating is that we're going to base all of that on a 3 to 5 minute interaction on a YouTube stream. Are you serious? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me?
Absolutely.
You mean to tell me that?
Let him go, y'all, because I know where he's going. Let him go.
So you're
Let him
telling
go.
me
Let him
that
go.
you can constrict, you can unpeel what she was thinking, her preferences, her ideology as far as towards men, towards dating, her value system, all of that from 5 to 3 minutes.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh
Okay.
wow, that's incredible.
DERELL.
That is
Don't say
incredible. I
anything.
just want
What
to
did the young lady say?
I'm gonna make my rebuttal to that.
Brother,
DERELL.
what did the
Now, notice this. I gave a logical response. That was a 5 minute fucking interaction between a man and a woman that didn't know each other, meeting on motherfucking YouTube. What was she supposed to do? These Negroes act like if you are at the top of the echelon, it means you get all the women and you should never be turned down. Negro, don't you know that every man has been turned down by some woman at some point, no matter how successful and how much money they have? Did it ever come to your mind, Mr. Faulkner, that she just didn't like his vibe? That's what you niggas don't understand. You don't understand verbal cues, you don't understand social cues, and you don't understand how to interact with women. And then this dumbass wants to talk about the fact that I'm more black pill than red pill. But keep going, No, I'm exposing your dumbass. That's talking about nihilism and shit like that. These black pill are depressed Negroes that have a history of suicide. Are you going to talk about that, Charles? Are you going to talk about the fact that these black pill negative toward life are depressed? They have mental illness, tendencies towards suicide. Are you serious? Charles, is that what you're going to adopt? Because that's what these guys do. Let me
I don't want nobody on the panel to say anything. I'm gonna make my rebuttal to that.
It's an echo chamber here.
What the hell did I just say? One, Not only did she make a rebuttal on another stream, two, let me ask you something. You walk down the street, a dude hits you in your face for no apparent reason. From off of 2 seconds or half a second that guy hit you, how long did it take to realize this guy is my enemy? He poses a threat. A lot fucking shorter than what the fucking interaction between her and that guy.
Yes, DERELL, okay.
So, really, if you really want to break it down,
yeah, we hear
I'm
you,
not
bro.
finished.
I couldn't hear you for like 30 seconds. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said, how long, if you're walking down the street, it takes you, if a guy punches you in the face for no reason, all of a sudden, how long do you know that this guy's a threat and an enemy? Do I really need to go? Do I really need 5 minutes to figure it out? No.
Charles, that's a bad analogy.
That's actually a great analogy.
No, that's a bad analogy because you're talking about somebody's life being at risk as opposed to somebody dating. That doesn't correlate.
As a matter of fact,
that doesn't correlate, Charles.
I'm gonna break it down.
Hold on,
I'm gonna break it down even. I'm gonna break this shit down.
This is funny. This is hilarious.
Hold on, Charles.
When she even says, "Oh, he doesn't have any personality," tell me about yourself. When he told her about his.
You want to know the real reason why Charles Faulkner, Ray Hill, and AJ, and some of these other bums are real mad? Because they've been in a position that guy was in which they thought they had it fucking going on. And a woman just flat out told them, I'm not interested. And this Negro, Charles Faulkner, was like, I'm a policeman. I got a pension. I do this and I do that. And I am red pill. I got this and I got that. How could you turn me down? She turned you down because she simply don't like the vibe. Why is that so hard for you Negroes to understand? It has nothing to do with where you work, because where you work does not necessarily describe who you are. For instance, for me, I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a business owner. I own multiple businesses. I do other different things. I'm a part of organizations. But that's not telling me who I am inside and out. As far as what I like, what I do, my interests, how I treat women, why you would want to be with me. Yes, other men do that bullshit. And women that deal with them complain about it. It has nothing to do with why when black men do it, it means something. No, it doesn't. It's across the goddamn board, y'all.
Interest and what he's done. Oh, he doesn't have any personality. That shows you the low class bullshit that a lot of our women are on.
What about this, Charles? Let's look at it from an alternative perspective.
We can't look at it from an alternative perspective. We got to look at it from what is presented.
No. I'm just saying. How about that? Could be multiple ways to look at things. You don't have to look at things just one way.
We look at the evidence presented.
Okay, and the evidence can be perceived in many ways.
Then guess what? Guess what it was perceived by many of people.
Not by everybody. No, everybody don't think the same.
Many of people said that she was out her fucking mind.
Okay, because he was a garbage man. Would you
entertain him? Let's see what he got to say. Let's see what he got to say. Go.
Hold on. If he was a garbage, let's say if he was not a damn physicist, I think people are getting caught up in the fact of what he does as opposed to.
What did I tell y'all earlier? What did I say? I told y'all.
I'm gonna say that.
This Negro here who's laughing, Mr. Z, Black and Fit, is one of the most lamest, nerdiest, socially awkward ass Negroes I ever met in my life. This Negro sat there and was mad because of the obvious. Look, it had nothing to do with the guy, but it had everything to do with the lady. She can't have an opinion of who she want to be with or not. If she didn't want to be with him and he's a good guy, that's her loss. So why are you dwelling on something based on you meeting somebody over a fucking YouTube channel? Not even in real life. This shit is actually below my discussion to even have this conversation. But I chose to.
Hey,
I'm
yo,
gonna say this.
Let's say
I'm
he
gonna
was a
say this
teacher.
right.
Let's
I'm
say he
gonna
was a
say this
teacher.
right.
When we,
You're
when-
making my point even better.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. No.
Average
Yes,
black
it
woman.
is.
I'm
Yes, it
making a
is.
point.
Yes, it is.
Yo,
I'm making the
not
point
moving
that
back to home.
regardless of what you do does not comprise of totally who you are.
I
She
fucking
part
told
of it.
y'all. I
basically
told y'all.
speaking of
Part of it.
she was basically speaking of the fact that she didn't like the way he came off this phone and talked about things about himself that he accomplished. Right to do that. She
Isn't
has
that
the
how
right to.
all
She
men talked
perceived
about
that.
themselves for millennia?
No, all men don't talk to ladies like that. I know I don't. I may tell a lady what I do for a living. I may say what I do for a living. I may say things that but I also talk about my interests. I talk about my value system. I talk about the things I like and dislike. I talk about what I like about the person. You know, he could have been cool with just first of all starting the conversation by giving her a mere compliment. Hey, first before I say anything, I want to let you know that I think you look great. Simple shit like that goes a long way when you're dealing with women. When you're dealing with socially inadequate, awkward motherfuckers that ain't been on a date in 10 years, and you're 35 years old with no children, no wife, no nothing. They don't understand that. They don't.
If the king wanted to fuck a bitch in the village, is he gonna say, "I'm the king"?
That's another bad analogy.
No, it's a great analogy.
That's a horrible
because he's the fucking
analogy.
king.
Dude, do you not understand what an analogy is? Do
Come
you
on,
Right,
actually know
if
what
we're
an
going to talk
analogy is?
about dating and compatibility, and we're going to talk about communication and all dynamics of relationships and interaction between black men and black women, let's keep it to that. When you go into these things, you lose credibility in this stance.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
stop you right there.
Because
You
I'm
do,
gonna
brother.
stop you.
let me get
Word,
when I
please.
could get
So-
on.
so-
This is
hold
funny,
on,
man.
hold on,
This is
hold on.
hilarious.
I gotta get at
I'm gonna
DERELL.
stop it right there. See, this is the reason why the analogy fell short on you, because really, you're trying to be right instead of correct. And see, here's the fucked up part about it.
Did you hear this fool just say you're trying to be right instead of correct? Those are fucking synonyms. They mean the same fucking thing, you dumbass. You're trying to be right instead of being correct. So if a teacher tells you 1 + 1 is 2, he says you're right, DERELL. You understand that you said the right answer. If the teacher said DERELL, can you please tell me what 2 + 2 is 4? You're correct, DERELL. Means the same guy, but not according to Charles Faulkner. Right and correct means something different. Damn. this is like this is below my pay grade.
When any other race of men can brag or talk about their accomplishments, they're called mavericks. They're called great men. They're called founding fathers.
Alpha.
They're called alpha. When black men do the same, oh, you gotta have personality. If that was a white boy, she wouldn't say shit about his personality.
Facts.
Let me know when I can respond.
Shit about him. I'll let you know. She wouldn't say shit about that personality. And you know what's even more fucked up is that she'll pass up a good-looking, athletic, intelligent brother with a damn good career that he's currently in, and the one after he gets out the military, and she'll settle for a cheddar bulb-ass white boy and think that she struck gold.
Let me stop there. First of all, black women ain't checking for white men like that. Matter of fact, black women are the second to least likely to date outside their race, white men are the least percentage-wise. I don't know where the hell he get that from. Meaning, so his whole point was she could not accept this from a black man, but she would have accepted a white man saying this. It would have thought everything was good. It makes no sense. This shit makes no sense. The fact of the matter, she just didn't like him. Why can't you all accept that? She just didn't like him. There's nothing more, nothing less. That's it. And that's all I was trying to convey.
Go ahead.
So you based all of that off of 5 minutes of discussion.
Not even 5.
Not just
Wow,
5
that's-
minutes. Less than
Man,
that.
that's incredible
that.
insight.
And
with
then,
limited
and then
information.
on top
That's
of that,
incredible,
on top
man.
of that,
That's incredible.
Listen to when she was brought back on the
That
show.
was incredible,
Listen to
man.
when she
I'm
was
I'm
brought
I'm gonna
back
say
on the
this. I'm gonna say this. What's wrong with a person having an opinion of what she wants and don't want? Whether it's bad, you know how many
Maybe
young men.
No one is
Wait a minute,
saying.
hold
No one
on.
is
Wait a
saying
minute. Can I
that.
speak without?
No
Wait,
one is
can I
saying that.
speak?
Every time I gave an opinion, these Negroes interrupted. But then they want to tell me I was interrupting them. I could not say one goddamn thing, as you often see. I couldn't say a damn thing without these Negroes interrupting. I couldn't get one sentence. I could not articulate clearly without being interrupted, nor concisely. I couldn't say things relative to the situation. Every time, as soon as I would speak one sentence, interruption by bitch ass, weak ass Negroes like Ray and Mr. V, and so on. Facts.
Speak without being
Go
interrupted.
ahead, speak.
Okay,
No,
I can't. I'll mute and let you
But
speak.
you
And let
doing
me know when I.
semantics, man. But
Nobody said that. Nobody
Right.
said
Thank you, Mr. Z,
anything
for the
about
cash
her
app.
not having compatibility.
Semantics, man. Like,
Come on, bro.
Let
Thank
me
you-
know when I
thank
can
you, Mr.
speak. Let me know when I
No,
can speak.
Thank you,
You're
Mr.
gonna
Z,
you're
for the
gonna
cash
speak
app.
to what was actually said. You're not going to infer what you want it to be. Nobody said that she had to be with somebody she's not compatible with. We're not fucking stupid here.
right.
No, nobody
grown
said
ass
you was
men
stupid.
here.
No one said you was stupid.
So by
But
saying
but
that,
but coming from brother, you basically miseducated the whole.
You've been talking a
You
lot. You've been talking a lot,
miseducated,
bro.
brother. You miseducated the live stream on attachment theory. So I can't take much from what you're saying, brother. I mean,
no, I didn't.
you have to re-educate yourself. But in regards in regards to this, she has a right. She has a right. She has a right
said she didn't have
to have whatever opinion she has, just like a man has a right to have an opinion about a woman that he wants or don't want. I don't see what the big deal is. What's the big deal?
She has a right to be
What's the big
alone.
deal?
She has the right to suffer her choices.
Thank you.
Because
Okay,
guess
so
what?
wait a
Here's
minute.
the
Hold on.
problem.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. If somebody's
no.
not interested in somebody, they're not interested. What's the big
There's
deal?
nothing-
I think
Nobody
we're
said you don't have a-
trivializing.
See,
We're trivializing a very
DERELL,
minuscule
I'm not
situation,
trivializing.
and
I'm
we're
not
taking more. We're
trivializing
putting
anything.
more into it than
Okay.
what's necessary.
DERELL.
Come on, Charles. You should be
whole
better than this.
Okay.
Don't tell me I should be better than shit. Okay? Because here's the problem what we do with black women.
And also, guys, I want to remind you, as I'm talking, notice some of those times when I was talking, I was being muted by bitch ass Charles Faulkner. See, he muted me, but he allowed these other Negroes to talk freely and stuff. Yes, if you're still there, Charles, yes, your bitch ass did mute me multiple times. You didn't mute them when they talked over me, but you muted me when I was interjecting against them. And that's fact.
In the community. We don't make them suffer their fucking choices.
Facts.
Make them
Huh?
stick to them fucking
They
choices.
don't.
Facts.
Are you
They
serious?
don't.
No,
You
they
crazy? The
don't.
whole black
DERELL.
community
And
suffering from
you're
choices. What are you
proving
talking
it.
about?
Wait. Let's do
proving
this. Let's do this.
You're
Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, brother. I was told.
Hold on,
Go ahead.
Jay, because now he pissing me off. You tried to tell me that black women don't suffer their fucking choices?
Yes, they do all the fucking time. They do every day.
When?
Every day.
When? Give me a
No,
fucking example.
black people suffer as a whole. What do you, this is not a genderized situation where one suffers and the other one don't. What reality are you living
Did I
in?
say black? Did I say
Again, I cannot say one word without being influenced. Need not say more.
black people or black women? There's a
black
difference.
women are not.
I'm saying black women because I thought we were talking about black women.
I said black women.
You said
black
black
women
You said black
suffer
people,
from their
brother.
own fucking choices.
I'm saying black women and black people, period.
Nope, that's nope.
No,
Nope.
they do
Answer the
not.
question.
That is true.
Answer the question.
Answer the
He
question.
said black women.
What about it?
Do black
Moving
women
the
suffer from
goalposts.
their
Okay,
choices?
okay. Let me
Moving the
make it clear. Let me make it clear.
goalposts.
Let me make it clear for him. Let me make it clear for him. What we're asking you is very simple. Do black women suffer the consequences of insane, retarded ass mate choices that they make?
Yes,
That's
they
the
do.
question.
Yes, they
And
do.
oh,
They
wait.
suffer- they
Okay, let's
suffer
stop. Let's
all the
pause right
time.
there. Give me examples of that. Okay,
Go
ahead and answer that.
Please give me the safety net
Eh,
that presents
How
black
you gonna
women
ask a
from
question with a
suffering.
question?
No.
All
Okay.
human
Ask you a
beings suffer
direct
from
question,
Answer
D.
the
Durrell.
what makes them
question,
immune?
You're a
Man,
therapist,
this not
man.
even
brother.
logical,
I
Come on,
man.
was
bro.
This is not
very
even a
clear
logical
with what I
conversation.
asked. No. I was very clear with what I asked
How
you.
do you make bad mistakes and
Oh,
don't
wait.
suffer from the
No,
consequences?
give me examples.
By the power of Grayskull.
See, this is the other dumbass comic book, childhood like cartoonish shit that Charles was doing to slow down the momentum when I was getting at the end. He did this multiple times.
Okay, so let me do this again, Charles.
Can I get some coherent
Okay.
shit so when people listen to the playback?
Okay, let me do this. Let me lay it out for him again. Give me examples, because you don't have to be perfect on this. Just give me examples of you watching women who made insane, retarded mate choices, and then they had to deal with the consequences of it. Not generalities. Just give me some examples. A aunt, a grandma, a sister.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You want examples? Okay, so like if you make bad financial decisions, you suffer those consequences. Bad credit, you get evicted from your place, you pay for it. Bad financial decisions, bad reproductive decisions, bad educational decisions. Those things, black women suffer from the consequences of those things all the time. What are you talking about?
I said mate
That's
choices,
LOGM.
brother. I said mate. You gave every example except for mate choices. I said
if you make bad choices,
right?
brother, if you make bad choices in regards to what you do and don't do, you suffer consequences for that.
I'm gonna ask you this
But
question,
there's no safety net to correct that.
Are you saying? Hold on, Charles. Hold on, Charles.
What are you talking about?
Are you saying in the American context, in terms of women in general, which is inclusive of black women, when a woman goes out here and makes a poor decision and gets pregnant by a man that she knew wasn't shit,
okay,
is there a consequence and a penalty for that decision?
Yes, it is. It's called
poverty.
What is
it? No,
it's
Ron, let him
called
go with that.
poverty. That's the
Hold
consequence.
on.
It's called poverty.
Wait a
And
minute.
that's because that's usually what happens to women that make those mistakes. They're in poverty.
When I say consequence,
black women have a net worth of $5 fucking. What are you talking about? The consequences.
Can you please stop?
That's consequences.
Can you just shut the fuck up, man, and stop? God.
This nigga here was losing his mind. The next time that I get on a panel with him, I'm going at his ass again. He was pissed off because I corrected him on theories that he didn't know shit about. He was upset that his panties in the bunch. He's a dumb motherfucker. He don't know how to read and write, and he don't know how to comprehend. He was saying, "Could you please shut the hell up?" I muted myself. Then I tried to speak. Old bitch ass Charles again muted me. So it made it feel like he was shutting me up, but he really didn't.
Damn. When I say penalties, I mean across the board globally. In most places in the world, when a woman makes a poor choice in a mate, she suffers from not being able to eat. Now, we do agree that eating is very vital to the human condition. Would you agree to that? Is eating vital?
Of course it is.
Okay, so do women globally suffer from those bad decisions from an eating standpoint compared to American women across the board?
Brother, I just listed the reasons.
Answer the
I don't know
question,
where
bro.
you're going with this.
Answer the question, bro.
What's the question? I don't get it. I just gave you asked me reasons, and then you want to talk about
Okay.
talking
Hold on,
about
Rael.
this in
I'm gonna
America.
ask,
We talking
hold
global.
on, Rael.
I'm
gonna ask the
confused.
question.
I'm
Stop
confused.
and listen. Stop and listen. Because I'm gonna ask you the question very simply. Do American women suffer like any other woman in the planet?
No, they don't. Because they're
Thank
not in
you.
any other country. This is America.
So let me ask you this.
So that's a
gonna go back.
difference.
Stop talking when I'm gonna go to the next question, please. So we're gonna go to the black community, right?
Right.
Who
Now
has
we're
the
gonna talk
highest
about the black community.
out of wedlock birth rates
Who has the highest out of birth rate?
out of any woman in America?
Black women.
What's the number? Do you know?
Usually,
It's about 80. It's about 80. Probably about 80%.
Close.
Usually,
That's good.
usually, women take a hit for that. Did black women take a major hit for that?
Yes, they did.
No, they're not.
It's called poverty.
Guess what?
Yeah, that's what
Guess
it's called.
what?
It's called low
I'm gonna tell
economics.
you this. Stop.
No, their children
So,
took
I
a
can't
hit.
even speak, man.
So
I
wait a
can't
minute.
speak.
Hold on.
Ryo just
fellas.
gave you an answer.
Hold
Their
on,
children
fellas.
took a hit.
Again, gave a simple answer: poverty. Most single mothers are in poverty. They're either working class or middle or lower class. There's a very small percentage, probably less than 10% of single mothers that are black, are living middle class or higher lifestyle. Most of them are going to be working class and middle class, I'm sorry, working class or lower class. This is the facts. I don't understand what is so difficult about understanding it. This is like elementary conversation that I never have in real life with intelligent people. But with these Negroes who are on social media too much and don't understand the real issues that are going on in normal society, they can't grasp it. They want to point out the same bullshit about the marriage rate, the abortion rate, the black woman this, the black woman that, the same repetitive shit that they were saying 5, 6 years ago. And all of it's been debunked. And they don't understand research.
Hit, but they ain't took no
Their
hit.
children
Thank
took the
you.
hit.
The fuck out of here.
So I'm gonna
What
tell
you mad
one
about,
thing
brother?
about stop talking. God damn.
What I
I'm
mean?
gonna tell
Are you gonna tell them to not talk?
I've told everybody not to fucking talk. So you're gonna tell me we'll even go back to
I
the
got
90s
muted again.
when they had this 3 strikes rule that
Okay.
predominantly struck down black men.
Right.
So they gave black men 3 strikes and you're out. They gave black women welfare reform, where a lot of these dumb bitches got fucking degrees and government jobs they didn't even fucking deserve.
Are you?
Let me stop there. This Negro sat here with disingenuous stuff and act like during the early mid 90s, black women got all this support through welfare reform, and black men were put in jail. Yes, black men were overwhelmingly put in jail, but black women were not getting all of this great abundance of assistance where they made a come up. If they did, this generation would be in a better position. I'm sorry, but that's just a fact.
I don't. Are you? Am I historically
Do
incorrect?
you know how many women were forced out of welfare because of welfare reform.
And guess what they
It
were
didn't make
forced
shit
to
Charles
better
just
for
do?
said
them.
that, bro. Are you
Are
listening?
you serious? That little government.
So you're gonna fucking tell me that I'm historically inaccurate?
I got muted again. Once again.
When I've witnessed this shit in my own fucking city and others.
And I seen it in my city too.
So you're telling me you go to fucking the courthouse right now? Who are they predominantly working? Who is in there predominantly working? Is it black men or black women?
Black women have historically always been in those government jobs. What are you talking about?
So did they suffer
Before
the unemployment rate? Do they suffer even the fucking unemployment rate and homelessness that black men suffer? Where they subsidize for their rent and their food?
okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, there are good.
So you're telling me?
Can I answer the question? Can I answer the question? I can't even answer the question.
Answer the question.
You're talking about government subsidies that keep you in poverty. These are all poverty-stricken as government policies
that whole
and fucking entitlements.
Bullshit.
They're not thriving off of that shit. Come on, man.
I'm gonna tell you some fucking shit that's real.
They're not thriving.
There's a lot of black women on Section 8 who live in better houses than what niggas can buy.
That's a goddamn lie. This Negro gonna sit here and say, now, are there Section 8 vouchers that allow you to live pretty decent? Yes. But it's not to the level, you're still bringing something. You don't, that's not ownership. That's not building wealth. These Negroes don't even understand that buying a house is wealth building. They don't even understand that.
That's a fact.
Are you kidding?
So stop that.
No, that's a fact, brother. That's a fact.
That's bullshit. That's who the fucking, when you try to rent a house, the first fucking thing they try to find out if you have a voucher. Why? Because 90% of that fucking money is government made.
Yep.
So you telling me, what nigga, you got black men who fought in wars. You really want me to go there?
Charles, are you telling me you're telling me all of the? I'm just gonna ask you a question. For all of the money that was into those entitlements in government programs.
I'm gonna say 3 words. Actually 2. Goldman Sachs.
Okay, now you got a point with that one. I'll give you that one. That just recently happened. I'll give you that one. But these other government funded that shit amounted to nothing. They were still in poverty. You're talking about things that keep you in poverty, brother.
How can you be in poverty when you're given a government fucking job and you get subsidized rent on top of that?
Okay, then. So if you're gonna say that, the fact that it's the government that's statistically stated that net worth is $5. So how you gonna sit there and talk about government funding, but they're worth $5 on average? That don't make sense. That don't make sense. If you got a net worth of $5, you can't brag about no goddamn job. That ain't shit.
Hold on. Do you need
that don't even make sense.
Hold on.
That don't even make sense.
Do you need a net worth when the government is constantly bailing you out?
Bailing you out of what? To be in poverty?
Hey, Raw, go ask the corporations that answer. You already know,
man.
So you watching it all across the board.
There's no come up from this. What are you saying?
Hold on.
You gotta understand economics.
As a matter of fact, that's the reason why they want a baby so badly when their old asses is 34 and 40.
Thank you.
Want me to tell you
serious,
why?
Charles? Come on, Charles. Charles, you better than this.
Let me get it.
Come on, brother.
Charles, let me get at this.
I'm better than this. No. I'm the nigga you put in the mud because I love it.
Charles, let me get
Go ahead.
Let Raw go.
First of all, when my shorty worked at the state, I'm gonna just give you a couple of stories. One.
Listen to these bullshit ass stories he about to tell me. Hilarious.
Was a story where a woman was in her 40s. She had 11 kids. by 11 different dudes,
Okay.
and she was pregnant with her 12th. Number
Mhm.
one. So clearly there was an incentive to keep having them. Number two,
This nigga sat here and said an incentive to have 11 fucking kids to have the 12th one. Do you know how fucking expensive that is? Ain't no government funding going to exceed the amount of money it takes to raise children. It shouldn't even make sense.
there was a woman that she said quit her job as a school teacher. She had a child. And the reason why she quit her job was because she said that she got more in government benefits than she made as a teacher.
That's a motherfucking lie. This nigga sit here in line, and if a teacher stated that she did that, she don't need to be teaching anyway, because that was a dumbass fucking decision to leave your career to get government benefits. By the way, a career that you actually spent money to get, that's a bad investment. This shit doesn't make any sense. The things that they're talking about are not realistic. Like, what the fuck are they saying? Like, do these guys even review the talking points that they say? These guys, the manosphere is so used of guys saying dumb shit and get no pushback. So when someone comes with logical stamp thinking, it's foreign to them and they get pissed off.
Now, if that
Are
ain't
you
if they
serious?
ain't
So,
incentive,
so,
I
so
don't know
what you're
what
gonna
is.
do is take extreme anecdotal
That's not extreme. Man,
Bruh,
get the fuck out
occurrences
of
and
here,
make
man.
that the
no,
norm. Is that what you're doing, right?
Okay,
Right? You're taking extreme
brother. Let me ask you
anecdotal
something. Let me ask you
situations
something.
and
No,
making that
Raw.
the
Let me
norm.
get this. Let me get this.
Are
Let me
you
get this.
serious?
Let me
Are
get
we
this. No,
gonna be
brother.
intellectually
Brother.
dishonest?
Okay. We hear you. You said it 5 times. This is what I'm saying to you. What was the conversation that we've been having since post-COVID? Is it not the government? Is it not corporations and companies saying, "Hey, we might have gave out too much money. These people ain't going back to work." Do you understand? That's all Raw is saying on a smaller scale.
No, I don't understand that, because as far as I'm concerned, there's plenty of people. There are plenty of businesses that are hiring and so forth. So I don't get that.
All
Dude,
these
it's not about
corporations are
hiring, it's
complaining.
about
You're
funding.
missing the point.
The
You're
real
purposely
money
missing
that
the
was
point.
gained
What
was
You're
you
purposely
done?
missing the
for
point.
businesses. The
Oh
businesses
boy,
were the ones who got all the money.
you're
I
purposely
know I
missing
got
the point.
mine.
What was the complaint?
Okay.
What was the
Okay.
complaint?
The
Are you being
business.
you're being so disingenuous right
No,
now.
I'm not.
Okay.
The
You're being so
businesses. The
Okay.
money
disingenuous
was
right now.
given. The money was
Let me ask
given
you
to the
Bruh.
something. Let me
businesses,
ask
He
you
heard
something
not
real
exactly
quick.
what
people,
you
man.
said. And
Raw, he
The
know what
Let me
I'm
ask
saying.
you
He
something
know what
real
I'm
quick.
saying.
$250,000 check that
Hold on.
people got.
Everybody.
Here goes the talking point. Thinking, yeah, there are people out of work. There are people who are out of work, but also didn't have to pay rent in most cases. People receive stimulus checks. The real money was given through PPP loans, CARES Act, EIDL. That's where the money went. Don't you all know during that time, I received well over about $250,000 in government funding for my own business. That's where the money went. What are they talking about? I got CARES Act money twice. I got EIDL money, and I got PPP loan money. And I could have gotten 3 rounds of PPP loan. I only applied for one. The money went to the businesses and corporations, not to the people. But then again, these niggas don't own a business, so they don't understand.
Let me ask you something real quick, right? 70, 80 years ago, what was the quickest way for a woman to get out her parents' house?
Again, typical as manosphere questions, the same repetitive shit, talking about marriage and what the woman decides to do. Tediously evaluating every fucking choice that a black woman makes, finding error. Same shit. We're back to square one.
Get married.
What's the quickest way for a girl to get out of her parents' house now?
She has a choice to leave whenever she wants.
No.
What does that have
What's
to
the
do with
quickest way? What's the quickest
having a
guaranteed
child?
way
Are
for her?
you losing your mind? No woman trying to have a child to leave the home. They can just leave on their own
That's how.
recognizance. What do you
In
mean?
other words, the quickest way for her is to have a baby,
Are
and
you
look what social service will do.
Charles?
If you would see why would you get a job?
Charles, that's
getting paid
poverty.
30.
This fool gonna sit here and say, and this shit is I don't get it. You gonna sit here and say that a person has to have a child to leave the fucking home? Are you serious? You know how many girls and guys that are leaving home at 16, 17, and 18? It's a bad decision. But they don't have to have a child to leave home. These motherfuckers are getting jobs, multiple jobs, living with other family members, living with friends. Millennials are not having children like that. What are you talking about? Delusional.
$40,000 an hour, and
Charles,
she's gonna get over $100,000 in benefits.
are you serious?
This nigga flat out said she gonna get $100,000 in benefits. What fucking state are you in? If somebody give me $100,000 in fucking benefits, that's what you talking about. This is one of the dumbest shit that I've ever heard in my life.
Brother D.
Where are people getting $130,000 in benefits, Charles?
No. We're gonna go. So
Stop it,
pull everybody
Charles.
down, man.
Give me a second. James is trying to go, y'all.
No, let me hold on.
No, go
let
ahead,
me pull
brother
everybody
Charles.
down because
Go ahead,
right
brother
now, you're gonna tell me that when we did welfare reform, a lot of these bitches got government jobs that they could
No,
barely.
they didn't.
Why do you think?
No, they
think
didn't.
the fucking court is so?
No, they didn't.
Did.
You know what
They
happened,
got
Charles?
government jobs.
Charles, you know what
Majority of
happened?
These chicks.
Charles,
No.
you know what happened?
You're talking to a person who fucking lived it.
I work in the industry. I work for government agencies. I'm in mental health. I know what happened. What are you talking about?
Women on my block.
Okay, Charles.
You got motherfuckers who were fighting to get fucking VA benefits, but bitches could go to school for free.
That means if you get benefits, that means you served for your country. You're entitled to that. What are you talking about, Charles?
Yeah. What the fuck did I just
repeat? You're gonna serve for nothing?
Repeat what the fuck did I say?
Charles, you're gonna serve for nothing and not get the benefits you're entitled to?
Repeat what the fuck I just said.
I don't understand why these bitch made dudes come in these spaces. I just don't.
I know. So why are you up here? So tell me why you up here.
See, this when these niggas try to get. They begin to want to get upset and frustrated. These niggas know they don't make no sense. Now they want to come after me, calling me a bitch ass nigga. Some of this nigga know you been fucked up with the wrong one. You think I'm gonna let you call me a bitch ass nigga and not say nothing back? Particularly niggas that not on my motherfucking. And that was part of it. These niggas can't even have an intellectual conversation without being challenged, without being frustrated. They're mentally weak, bad comprehension skills, bad rebuttals. They were the ones looking stupid. And I'm going at multiple people.
The fuck I
So since you said that, why are you up here?
You a pussy ass nigga.
Yeah, Nick, why are you up here then, man? Why you calling me names? You triggered? You triggered, brother. Why you triggered? You so feminine, man. Why you so?
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond. Plus.
Some more childish ass.
Now that I got everybody's attention. So we got guys who are getting hell trying to get VA benefits, but these chicks are going to school, getting jobs, getting daycare vouchers. How many times you have brothers take care of their kids and they struggle to even get fucking food stamps? but these bitches can have goddamn a whole Royal Rumble in their fucking house and get numerous. I mean, bitches will have 3 kids and will get $800. So many damn stamps that the bitches be selling them. And guess what? They will. And here's the fucked up part. There are places in major cities, Baltimore, New York, and others, where chicks were getting welfare, and they would actually move them into the nice part of the fucking neighborhood, or a nice neighborhood where it's like a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath house.
Please.
So we're not going to go. We're not going to go off of that, but we're going to go to James.
All I know is because that's the kind of women he deal with. So this nigga ain't about shit. So he deal with that level of woman. That's how you know that's the kind of woman he fuck with.
Brother D, what part of the country are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
Excuse me?
What part of the country you reside in, if you don't
I'm
mind?
in Houston.
Okay. So, brother, coming from the East Coast and the liberal states, I don't know how extensive it is for you.
I actually grew up in Louisiana, but I've been in Houston since 2000.
So let me say this, and as Brother Charles and any of the brothers who live in mostly the liberal states, we're speaking from what we see on the ground, right? The amount of benefits that women receive from what we see, especially in these liberal states, it doesn't make any motherfucking sense.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious, brother. I can tell you right now in the state of Massachusetts.
So can you explain the poverty rate?
Hold on. Let me finish
his point.
Okay.
Let me finish, brother.
Let him finish his damn point.
Let me finish my point.
I'm just asking a
hold on.
pointed question.
First of all, I agree with Brother Charles. You can't equivalent poverty when you have a safety net. You're talking about one of the most expensive states in the United States. I know sisters who've been living in public housing. That is, we're talking about almost what?
You mean New York?
New York, Boston's just as expensive. Boston's right next to New York. You're talking about at least for a 3-bedroom, brother. We're talking about $2,800, and the rest, I would say 80%, 90% is subsidized.
And you're talking about gun.
This nigga is lying. The average woman is not getting no goddamn voucher, no $2,800. This nigga need to quit fucking lying. In those cities, they may be getting something between 15 and maybe 23, 2,200, depending on how many kids they have. They're not getting no fucking 2,800 on that average. These niggas is lying.
Cut it out and refurbish, all fucking rehabbed, everything.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Okay, so
explain. Let me talk.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be quiet. Go ahead.
So I'm just in this. When you add the fact that with these subsidies, and they can go to any university free of charge, especially.
How the fuck they can go to any university free? This is some of the dumbest. These niggas lying their ass off. How the fuck you going to any goddamn college?
In the liberal states, where they just basically any woman who's black who walks in there like, oh, I need help, please, they will find you financial aid, grants, all types of crazy shit. It's like it's pointless of having a shelter for women in these liberal states, because the amount of resources that is given to these women with multiple children. We ain't talking about the one, maybe two. We talking
multiple men at that.
Yeah, well, we talking about the abuse, the system. And this is what I'm telling you. I know chicks who live in like a place called Newbury, one of the most expensive streets in Massachusetts, man. That's just at minimum for a 1-bedroom, $4,000. You got bitches living in that area. Brand new.
This nigga is lying.
You know, condominiums all week.
Developments,
Developments, man. This is crazy. And you can't even get a black man who is productive in society, who may be priced out. He can't even get none of them bitchin' fucking vouchers.
Okay.
That's the scary part.
Wait, D, wait, before you ask your question, because I gotta tie all the D.
Okay.
Let me tie everything in for you. When you initially came in, I said I didn't want this to derail into finding some weird way of blaming niggas type shit, right? There's a reason why I said that.
Nobody's blaming anybody for anything. The bottom line is that, so I guess not blaming means you can't hold anybody fucking accountable for their own decisions, whether you're a man or a woman. These niggas just can't do it.
That because look at where we are now with this conversation, right? The reason
Okay,
why we spoke.
so
Wait. I'm not done yet. I ain't land. The
you
reason why we're
long-winded.
speaking. That's good.
He just started.
Thank you. I'm okay. I am long-winded, so you're just gonna have to deal with it, unless you're gonna drop off. The issue that we have with this young lady, and it was told to me by a young lady on the breakdown, is women like this will turn down a brother like that, and then think that a man is supposed to double back and save her in 15, 20 years. And a young lady on the breakdown told me straight up, "Why deal with y'all men now? Because y'all gonna save us anyway." So the reason why you hear us speaking the way we're speaking is because we already know what's animating her, what's fueling her, and why she turned this guy down. Because she.
You don't know the fucking woman. You don't know shit. It was a fucking snippet of a goddamn show. This shit is ridiculous, man. These niggas act like they know so much shit and they don't know a goddamn thing.
He thinks that that guy is going to be available, or somebody, one of us, is going to be available in a decade or 2 decades when she realized she didn't crash into the wall to come and save her. That's why we're speaking the way we're speaking. So I don't know if you don't realize that. Maybe your life experiences are different, but from our experiences, women that sound like this think that the government's going to save them, or some man is going to save them, white, black, Asian, Latino, or otherwise, and save them from the insane, stupid ass ideas, choices they made 10 and 15 years ago.
Brother
And I'll
D,
pause right there. Go ahead.
Brother D, I'll just yield after this. I dated a chick, brother. She lost her job, right? She had no kids. The first thing the bitch said was like, "Oh, where can I go apply for food stamps?" This is how wise.
Listen, guys, what this has become is a trauma bonding fucking obsession when niggas talking about the type of women that they dealt with. Why are you motherfuckers dealing with Section 8 women? Why are you dealing with women who are on government assistance? You see, you want to talk about the motherfucking choices, but nobody wants to talk about their choices. Why is it? 6 of these Negroes that are on this panel, I don't know what Chaos, well, 5 of them. I'm not going to put Chaos Reign in that bubble. But why are you niggas constantly dealing with the same type of woman, living off the same fucking benefits? When you fucking these type of women, why are you not turning these women down? Why are you pursuing these type of women? You pursue women that don't want anything in life, and then when they show you their true self, you get mad at them for not wanting more. You knew she wasn't shit when you first started. But because she had titties nice and a nice mouth, oh nigga, all that shit just became irrelevant. And then months down the line, you realize this shit ain't going nowhere, and you trying to change somebody that don't want to be changed. This is who she is, but that's what you're dating. Let me continue.
Some of these bitches are. She didn't even think about, oh, let me get back on my feet. Let me go back to school. The first thing she was like, how do I apply food stamps? I'm like, what the fuck?
So let me know when I can respond.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay,
Then I'll respond.
so I'm gonna say this. So can you explain to me why they have, since you want to talk about how great the system is and all these entitlements and all these wonderful gadgets and gifts that they got, why are there so many black women and men from the East Coast moving to the South? Why are they moving to? Brother, this was so great. Can you explain that?
Okay,
Because as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't be leaving that shit.
Brother,
The stuff y'all saying, why would they want to leave that?
Hold on, brother. If you talking about black men, there's
talking about black men and women.
No. Hold on. The reason why I can tell you all the black chicks I know that got these subsidies, they're not moving to the South.
Oh, yes, they are. You want a bit?
Brother.
They're coming.
Hold on.
Brother, they're moving to the South.
Did you not hear what James said?
Every time I tried to speak, I'm interrupted. But I'm the one getting muted. I'm the one that can't get a thought out. 2 or 3 people interrupted. There are people from the East Coast and the West Coast moving to the South, specifically Texas, particularly Dallas, Houston, and Austin. The state of Texas talk about this shit every goddamn fucking week, every goddamn political season. The population increases in the major cities. They're coming from California, they're coming from the East Coast, they're coming from the Midwest. But these Negroes constantly dealing with the same type of woman. Not one of these guys said that they didn't deal with a woman that wasn't on any type of government assistance. They gave all these sob-ass stories to these bum-ass women, and you get mad at them for being what they are. You knew this from the beginning. So why are you getting upset for this woman showing you who she truly was, and you accepted it? So what's the problem? You knew the chick wanted food stamps over a job when you met her, because she was already on the shit, not looking for a job. So what's the surprise? But I'm going to play one more snippet. I'm going to let Recognized Game speak.
Say it again, brother. Say it again. I don't think
he heard you. It's clear. The women who have benefits right now are not jumping ship to move to the South. And I'm gonna tell you straight up. I know
for a fact there are women from
let me finish this point.
that are moving.
Brother D, let me tell you why they won't leave. I'll tell you from the state of Massachusetts. The state of Massachusetts has a law for healthcare. Mass health is subsidized healthcare. Probably one of the best in the country. It doesn't matter how poor you are, you can still receive the best healthcare in the country. That's number one why these bitches ain't leaving. That's number one, because you can just have us taxpayers to pay that shit. She can have 4 or 5 babies, go to the best hospital in the country for pregnancy, Brigham's, and be good. That's number one. Number two, there are too many universities here to give these bitches a second chance.
This is funny.
No,
man.
I'm just being real.
No,
because at the end of the day, I'm just being real. Because at the end of the day, they're in liberal states. They have no problem promoting feminism. We're talking about one of the top feminist schools that in Massachusetts.
Ooh, boy.
Wellesley. Leslie used to be, Wellesley is where Hillary Clinton went. My cousin graduated from that school, brother. I can tell you how brainwashed that shit is. That's number two. Number three, why would a woman who has all these subsidies move to the South where, one, transportation is not adequate, right? Number two, the access to healthcare is not adequate.
Conservative states.
Hold on. And we're talking about the liberal states, the one that, especially Massachusetts. So you got Harvard, MIT, all them motherfuckers up here. And number three, why would I leave something that I know for a fact if I go somewhere else, the same legislators, the same individuals are not going to promote my agenda?
Oh,
really?
You telling me, hold on, you telling me
really
right now, hold on, you telling me the state of Texas
these Negroes
is going to promote the same agendas as the state of Massachusetts or New York or DC?
No, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm stating.
I'm
just asking you to explain why are they moving here, because they are.
No, but DERELL, you're missing what he's saying. Okay, let me say it. Charles, let me say it clear. Let me say it clear.
Again, I can't say a word without being interrupted. But let me go ahead. I'm gonna let Recognized Gang speak, and then I'm gonna move forward. What's up, brother?
What's good with you, D?
What's up, player, man? What you think about what's going on?
Yeah, man, this is pretty typical of sound like some Black Manosphere content. But yeah, man, I'm always curious. I never really get the answer when I talk to these type of cats. I'm always trying to figure out what is it that the Black women are entitled to that Black men are not also entitled to. Because, they talk about, obviously it's legislation out there that's specifically geared towards Black women, and it has that actual name on it. This is a Black woman's program. But at the same time, while black men don't have these programs that say and call us out specifically, there are programs that we're privileged to, like SBA loans and grants and
Right.
education loans and grants. So when they talk about all the subsidies and the grant money and all the money that's available to black women, I'm just curious why they aren't going after any of the money that's available to us and everybody else. Now, with the education piece, because it sounds like these are really the only two things that they're talking about. So the key components would be the housing benefits and the education.
Right.
But anybody that has a C
And
average,
food stamps.
right, and food stamps. Now, anybody that has a C average when they graduate high school can get accepted into any state school or community college with I mean almost 100%, 100% of anybody who graduates with a C average can go to college. They'll give you grant and aid, and they'll give you the balance of that in educational loans. But anybody who has a B plus average or better will be entitled to scholarship money. So it's nothing prohibiting black men from going to school and getting it paid for. So I really don't understand where they're coming from with that. Now, with the women who they want to compare themselves to, or who get Section 8 benefits, they got 3 and 4 kids, and they get food stamps. You know, I look at it as okay. They don't give that to men because obviously most of the time women are the primary custodial parent in the co-parenting
Facts.
situation. But I look at the trade-off. In all actuality, the trade-off is that that woman does in fact have the child with them, even though I want to repeal and replace the whole family court, but that's another topic. But the woman does have the child with them. So they are,
Interconnected.
yeah, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Now, the man in that situation does not have the child with them. So that gave, in my situation, that gave me more flexibility to go out and work multiple jobs, also be an entrepreneur, really be out here trying to get to it. Because even though I wanted to have my child with me, I wasn't allowed. So I just did what I did normally. But my BM could never have multiple jobs and be in school and have a business and all these things at the same time because there's only but so many hours in the day. So when these men are comparing themselves to women who get Section 8 and food stamps, I'm wondering what is their actual financial situation where they're actually comparing themselves to people who are impoverished. Because anybody
Exactly.
who
You notice I kept saying poverty. I said,
right,
do you realize they're not making a come up from this? They're in poverty. I don't understand. It's the reason why I kept repeating that because they're trying to glamorize getting government benefits,
right.
and that's just not the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's supplemental income. I mean, you
It's
don't have to be poor or not earning a certain amount of money, but if you got 4 and 5 kids and the reality is that you're not with any of the dads, well, you're going to need some benefits for these kids. I mean, it is what it is. Where are
right.
those men? Those men are benefiting because they have all the flexibility in the world to go out and earn money. Now, is the family court system fair? I don't think so,
No, it's not.
especially for people who actually want to participate in a healthy co-parenting situation. But the
I agree.
reality is, these guys have more opportunities than the woman does who actually has to sit at home for X amount of hours every single day because they have to mind after this child. So I don't really see what they're complaining about. You had a baby, it's got to be some kind of situation that's
But
healthy for the
nobody
child.
wants to talk about the man who's not there, regardless. And I understand there are women who do foul shit to not keep you away from children. That does happen. But a lot of these guys are apathetic towards their children, and that's just a fact.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm gonna say this: most guys want to be with their children, but in our community, there's a large percentage of men. I'm not saying all, but it's an overwhelming percentage that's above other groups, in which these guys are having these children, pumping and dumping, and don't care less what the as far as the condition where those children are living. And so we can't sit here and act like these women are living this fabulous life on government benefits, these vouchers. But look at the cities. Okay, you live in Philly, right?
Kinda, yeah. Philly and
Okay, so let's say Philadelphia itself. What's the average rent inside the city of Philadelphia? How much for a 2-bedroom?
Shoot, man, probably about 1,100.
Okay, $1,100. Okay, let's say you in New York or somewhere else. They'll sit there and say, "Well, how she can get a $1,500 voucher?" Well, she got a $1,500 voucher because she got 3 kids, and it's comparable to the city that you're living in.
Right.
So $2,500 ain't shit in New York.
Well, what do they want to do? This I always want to know. Like, all right, if
I'm gonna tell you what they want. You want to know exactly what they want? This is what
yeah,
they
I
want.
do.
They
I've
want
never found that.
They want a Betty Crocker 1950s environment in which we didn't have any fucking rights at that time, in which women were forced to stay home and financially depend on their husbands in order to survive.
But if all right, so if they can compare,
I guarantee you, Ricky, if you said, if you was on a man, and I will challenge you to do this the next time you get in a panel with them, that's red pill. You ask them, what do you think is the ideal family environment that you would like, as far as husband, wife, children, household, and who's working? I guarantee you they're gonna say, I want my wife to stay at home. She gonna take care of the children, and I work, and she's gonna be financially dependent on me, and I control everything.
yeah, in the marriage situation, I think I'm pretty clear on how they want the woman to be submissive, and the whole rundown.
But see, the submissiveness is tied to financial dependency.
Right,
It's not
right.
tied to the fact that this woman willingly wants to submit herself to you because she loves you or care for you or she, values you. It's just merely grounded in economics.
Right.
Notice these niggas never talk about how to come. Look, listen at the women that they talk about they date. Every woman they talked about was on government benefits. It was Section 8 hoes. Come on, man. Let's be real.
That's what they saying.
So so nobody wants to talk about the quality of woman you was dealing with and the environment that they operate in, but you want to get mad when she choose to want to have another child or get a child. That's what Section 8 welfare type chicks do.
Let me
So
ask you
why
this.
are you dealing with that type of woman?
I mean,
and you want her to change? Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's their choice. That's the type of woman they end up with, and it's a lot of different women that from all different backgrounds that get all kinds of social services.
That's
but
true.
I always wonder, like if they had it their way, right, and we took away all the government benefits that women receive when they have kids out of wedlock with multiple baby daddies and they're not married. In that situation, from a social services standpoint and from just a societal standpoint, like what do you do for these kids? They keep talking about the women, but they never talk about the kids. I mean,
That's because they don't give a
really
shit
about the
about the
kids?
kids.
They
Why you keep saying? It's because it ain't about the kid. They don't give a shit. Again, you got to understand. These are guys that don't understand family. They don't understand women. They don't understand. I tried to tell them the reason why and I skipped that part because I didn't. It was a part that before where I caught a certain part where we kind of went into things. I stated, man, the kids are connected to the women, the social services, and I'm trying to tell them. I say, guys, there are men who got different disabilities and stuff. They're getting benefits. Black men are getting benefits. It's not like, and I'm trying to, and I say, guys, I know black people, black men that are getting food stamps. I know black men that got Section 8, with disabilities and other different things.
Yeah,
It's
see,
not like,
I was gonna say most men. My fault. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I'm saying it's not like black men are not, like you just stated. Do they understand that black men are eligible for these things? Because we are. But they won't discuss that.
See, they leave out the main reason why men generally don't qualify for food stamps and housing and all these government benefits is because you have to be, most of the time, if you're not the primary custodial parent, then you have to be really unemployed for a long stretch of time, and you are not currently even seeking employment for one reason or another. Because
They don't.
as soon as
They
you get a
don't.
job, you can't
Right.
have it no more. Because
Exactly.
it's not like you got 3 or 4 kids living with you like she does.
They
She
don't
could get a
understand.
job, have a good job, make 70, 80,000, and
Right.
still need it because she got 4 kids and no father in the house. So she
Right.
literally still does need benefits.
Right.
You
It's
know what I
depending on
mean?
how
But
many children you got. But see, what
right,
they don't understand is that most of the time in these situations, men are not the primary parent.
right.
Because men
Hardly ever.
who are the primary parent can easily get these benefits.
Yeah, but they're not the primary parent, and
Exactly. And that's the
so I
point.
mean, there's no way around that. So,
Yeah, they
like,
not.
what do they want to do? I don't
So
get it.
so so my thing is, that's the caveat that they don't want to. That's why I told them. I said, man, you don't want to deal with issues in full scale. You want to pick out the parts that fit your narrative, and you want to throw it out there to the space as if it's truth, and you're not looking at things from its totality. You're just looking at things to fit. Oh, this is what this statistic say. This is the reason why. When you bring it out stuff about they getting all these, this dude actually said they're getting $130,000 worth of fucking benefits. I'm like, are you serious? The only way you're gonna get 130,000 is it got something to be healthcare related.
Right.
You have a fucking illness where the treatments and everything can cost you that kind of money. They're not giving you $100,000, $30,000 worth of housing, food stamps, and TANF and whatever else. And even education ain't gonna give you that amount a year. Are you crazy?
Man,
And
they
even
know that.
and let's say they did do that. It's only a small amount of people who get the benefits are going to qualify for that, even if it was available.
Man, they know that. These people, they just say any damn thing half the time, man.
I'm sitting there like, dude, don't you realize, dude, I work social service. I'm working mental health. I work community mental health. And you see, I just didn't work I worked as a case manager. I worked direct care. I worked all levels before I became licensed. So I know I see this. I see the families. I see women and men that struggle, government benefits. Part of the skills training and psychosocial rehab was helping people maintain their benefits.
Right. Exactly.
That's the
Right.
how the fuck you gonna tell me?
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, man, is just like, from a social services standpoint, these people are not ready for that conversation because in social services, there is no emotions at all from
Sure ain't.
behind the desk. It's
Nope.
this person,
Nope.
this is the profile, this is the client. We don't care who's in the relationship with who or what didn't work out with the baby daddy or none of that. If
They
she's
just looking
entitled
at
to it,
data.
she just gonna get it.
They're
You
looking at
know,
numbers. They're looking at if you qualify. They want to know, do you got a bank account? They
that's
want to
it.
know all that kind of shit.
Yeah, and
That's what they worried about. So,
but when these guys are comparing themselves to women, because they're really comparing themselves to women, and they're competing for what it sounds like. They're competing for government subsidies, and they feel like they should be entitled to the same government subsidies, unless they're saying they just want to do away with government subsidies, which is
They do. They want to do away with government subsidies
what they
because.
poor.
But listen. This is the reason. The government, they think in their convoluted mind is that if you take away the government funding and entitlements, it will force them to be under the rulership of a man financially. Again, I keep going back to that. And they think that the biggest shield between black women getting married and settling and wanting to be married is because they have this safety net of quote unquote government benefits that make them feel like they don't need a man. But I'm like, they're living in poverty. Even they're not living a middle class lifestyle on this shit. They still want a man. Now the thing about it, they're not a lot of these women are not high quality women, and quality men or even decent men don't want to marry these women that are on this because they have a poverty mindset.
I mean, any woman with 4 or 5 different baby daddies, I'm looking at that like,
who's signing up for that?
Yeah, I'm not even looking at like, who are these women that you're even attracted to in the sense of you're going to deal with her long term in any capacity. I mean, if that's what you're signing up for, then you should already know she's going to get benefits for all 4 of those kids. And I mean, what's the problem with her getting benefits? Why does it bother anybody? I don't know. I don't know what the problem is, to be honest. And if they feel as though black women are getting all these benefits, then why are they not working with the black woman? She getting all this extra money in.
Because they don't want to deal with, again, see, this goes with the hypocrisy. They don't want, they're talking about these single mothers. They're talking about the amount of children. And they complain about these women, but you still fucking them.
Dumping.
Yes. And then you're going to complain the fact that they got all of these baby fathers that you don't want to deal with because, some of them do come around and want to, cause problems. That happens. I get that. But why are you entertaining these women? I know I didn't. I didn't entertain women like that because I know they ain't want nothing in life.
I don't know, D, because I know, I mean, it was a lot of women.
Yeah, some of them do. I'm not saying everybody.
No, I'm saying like,
there are those that want to do better, but I didn't entertain them because I ain't want to deal with the drama. Like you got 2 kids with 2 different dads, or even 2 kids for one. Got to deal with him. I mean, I grew up in rural Louisiana, so you got a mindset where people think depending on the government is like a way of life. I didn't want nobody like that. I mean, you grew up in a metropolitan area. I grew up in a rural, like in rural areas, it's like part of the culture to be tied to government assistance. But you wasn't getting a lot of money. That's the thing. You wasn't getting a lot of money in the first fucking place. People waiting on their check on the 1st and the 3rd, shit like that. The food stamps and all this shit. But you still living, month to month, depending on resources that only allow you to barely survive.
Well, single parenting for a woman, for the primary custodial parent, 9 times out of 10, a woman, is usually pretty synonymous with government aid and
poverty
and court and support. Yeah, poverty too. But I mean, usually those things are kind of tied together as far as government assistance.
And the thing about it is, this is the thing that goes. The untold story is that it's the white woman who is bleeding the country with government benefits.
Absolutely.
I'm talking in droves.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to say this. Now, I get it. When you go into urban centers, you will see a bunch of black people, black women in there. But they don't understand when you're talking about, like, let's say I'm going to use Pennsylvania. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
between Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and maybe a couple other cities, a lot of those counties are white.
Most of them, yeah.
And so, what do you think? What do you think those poor white women are doing? They going to those government agencies, getting whatever they can get.
Shit, in Philly, man. I mean, Philly is probably some of the highest poverty and drug addicted white folks in the whole country. I can't imagine there being another town other than like San Francisco. Has got to be
Nah,
comparable.
Seattle pretty bad. Seattle got the heroin, and it's been
Right.
culturally like that for the last 30 years with heroin in Seattle's horrible. Homelessness and tied to heroin, it has never gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, white folks pretty much use all of the government aid. I mean,
Yeah,
from Medicaid, Medicare. I mean,
everything.
nobody gets more government
And I'm
aid than
sitting
white
there
people.
like, y'all talking about what you see, but I've worked in jobs and so forth where I see the people. I've actually helped people apply for the shit. So how you gonna sit and tell me? I'm sitting there like, man, I've actually helped people get on Social Security benefits, Medicaid, Medicare, changing their benefits for something, food stamps. I've literally taken people to these places and coached them through filling out this paperwork.
Well, see, these guys, they generally think in terms of percentages, but never in terms of per capita. And when you think in terms of per capita, then you can just look at the raw number of people from each ethnic group that come into those offices
Yeah,
and get government aid. And by a long shot, is white people are obviously they're the largest group. So they
about
require
it ain't even close, man.
right. So they really get almost all of the benefits. Even though if you look at us, we're a small group, but yeah, 70 something percent of us are, I guess, illegitimate kids. But a lot of those so-called illegitimate kids from so-called fatherless homes, they're really not single parenting situations. These are
They
really
really not.
co-parenting situations. It's a small percentage of the people who are black women who have kids and they're receiving benefits who are just like really destitute. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Like it's
That's
not
true.
like these are all poor people just because
No,
they
they
get
not.
benefits.
A lot
So
of them are working and they got multiple jobs. They got their family, like particularly their mom keeping the children, stuff like that.
right.
That's the situation. Even if they got multiple children, and so what they're not looking at is that um they're looking at it from a perspective of if you live in the hood and you live in a black city, all you see is black people, and you're seeing black people doing this to survive and function, and you don't see a lot of these people. And this is another thing: a lot of black people in some of these cities don't travel outside of these cities. You know what I'm saying? So that they're not um exposed to other demographics of how things are done. So they only thinking from the mindset of the city.
Actually, man, I think is really pretty typical. And I think since the thing that sometimes incapacitates us is that we have no choice but to think of these things from a social services perspective because that's the way that we've been trained to deal with this, and we just innately think of things in terms of social services. But people on the other side of the desk, they just don't even think about these things, or not even aware of these things, and are not privileged to understand the impact of each facet of the dynamics that go into the whole composition of society at large, and how social services have to actually supplement a lot of things that are lacking. They don't look at it from that perspective. They are literally thinking about the woman who they had a relationship with, who ended up being able to turn to the government, so-called, and get benefits when they broke up, and they didn't get any benefits. But they also, the trade-off again is that they don't have the kid with them, so they can really do whatever they want. They can go light the world on fire, but they don't choose to do that. They sit around and complain about the woman, and I'm like, well, damn, if you was getting to it, if you was out here really doing your numbers, you'll be looking at her like, well, at least she getting that. You know what I mean? Like she got her little couple dollars together because that's not a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like
It's
I
not.
think everybody should really have an opportunity to have housing for kids. You know what I mean? Now, if she ain't had no kids, I say she need to go get a job, do whatever she got to do after y'all break up. But
Yeah.
if she got 2, 3 crumb snatchers and y'all ain't together and you ain't paying for shit, I mean, what do we want to do with these kids? I mean, they gonna be just sleeping in the street?
Facts. Facts.
I don't know,
Facts.
man. These guys are
And so
crazy.
they're not looking at things. They looking at things. They think it's totally about the decision that these women made, without also understanding there's another person that made the decision with her. She wasn't by herself, and she needs to suffer the consequences because
Right.
of what the decision she made.
Now, and I always wonder. See, next time you get on there with them, ask them specifically what the consequences should be, because they really do want to punish women.
Yes.
I just
Yeah,
want
and see,
to.
and I'm gonna say this, man. They have a domestic violence like mindset. When you want women to when you want another human being to suffer, something is not right psychologically. I'm sorry. Why would you want another human being? See, we got to understand when you're talking about a term like disorder and turning in illness and so forth, or things that lead to that, it's either you're causing harm to yourself or you're causing harm to other people. You know, when you want somebody else to suffer and go through pain and you know different mischief and so forth, something is wrong with you as a person where you would want someone to go through that. That's not a normalized behavior. For
Well,
you, for you to really want someone to struggle and stress, you know, and go through, you know, pain and suffering and agony, and you smiling and laughing like, look, look, you got what you deserve. Like seriously, something that's not normal.
well, I mean, I could understand in a certain context, and with specificity in this context, where the woman that they're talking about in particular may have dragged them through divorce court and wiped them out, maybe took them for all they had through the family court with the child support. I can understand why you would be upset about that. I mean,
Right.
there's no other way to feel about that. You're going to be upset about it. But at the end of the day, a lot of these guys just in general want all women to not have access to the benefits that they have. And they're really, in a way, envious of the women in their relationship with the government, because that's literally all
Yes,
they talk about.
it's because they feel like black men, like the guy said, there are all these black men who are homeless and don't get this and that. But then a fucking you said, but then a fucking woman can go in there with 3 kids and get everything, and they get the education. I'm like, guys, it's not that simple. There's more layers to that. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, most of these women who are on Section 8 are not taking care of the educational benefits that are given. Most of them are not. Most of them are not going to college, and they're not getting community college education. They're not doing it. They're not taking advantage of it. There's only a small percentage
It's
of
like
truly taking advantage of this stuff.
it's a really strange mindset, for lack of a better word.
It
It's
is
just
a
really
strange
strange because
mindset.
I can't see how that harms anybody if black women are going to college for
Yeah,
free. But I mean, I went to college for free. I mean, there's
right.
all kinds of opportunities to. I mean, if you like when I was I won't be telling all my business, but when I was studying for my MBA and shit, I had a 99% uh GPA, QPA, and they paid for the rest of my school because I had exceptional grades. So I don't understand really all this stuff they talking about, man. Scholarship money available to everybody, and if you got a D average, you're not going to get any of it. You're not even going to get accepted into any college. So if you got a C average, you can go to college. They give you grants, Pell grants. They give you student loans. Everybody's eligible for this.
Yes.
So I don't know what they're
And
talking
another thing
about,
that's
man.
not talked about is that because this was something I was eligible for. Like even when you in college, you can qualify for scholarship. Like I know when I went to school, like if you maintain a certain GPA, you can get other scholarships that were available. You can apply for them. And they can pay for the rest of the years you're in school.
That's the whole thing. Next time, ask these jokers, what happened when you applied for the college that you applied to? What happened? Because if I would love to know what happened, because if you had over a C average, they would love to have you, man. This
Especially
is
the
how they
state
get
school.
paid. You know what I mean? Colleges get paid by you coming in there. They set you up with the grant and aid and everything. They walk you through the whole application, and before you, even if you don't know, so you don't have all the information, they'll put your application on hold. They tell you exactly word for word what you got to do to satisfy the application. And they tell you who you got to call, and they'll even have them call you so they can make sure that you get your entire, what is like 10, 15 pages application completed, and you start school the next semester. I don't know what these guys are talking about. They clearly have never applied to a college, so I don't understand why they would continually have a beef that they really created out of thin air. Because if if they want to meet women who have college degrees, then they need to take their ass to college, because that's where they all at.
Exactly.
All these
Exactly.
high value women, you ain't got to wait until you gray hair
No.
and you finally making six figures. No, you could be broke in college with the high value prospective high value woman,
And they're
and she
there.
in the dorm right there. And
Exactly. I don't know, man, because
after the party, you should be able to. It's the after
man,
party.
a lot of the women that I dated in the past, they're accountants. Like I wasn't dealing with the type of women they talking about. Like
Yeah, at
wasn't
all.
then. Like I dealt with women that was, the people that were doing stuff, man. They were on their way to lawyers, teachers. They got advanced degrees, PhDs. I mean, that's what I was seeing, but that's the environment I was in. I wasn't going into the to quote unquote project looking for, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like those type of women, when they would see me in their environment when I would go, because I got, family members or whomever that, I never distanced myself from my community, no matter how they're doing. And this whole thing about you were seen as an attractive commodity to those type of women.
Right.
And so yeah, they threw it at you. And I get that. And some of it was looking, I get, yeah, some of them looking great. I get that. But that's all they had. They had nothing else. And drama.
Man, these
One of
guys
the,
will never understand
I'm
that,
gonna say
man.
this. One of the biggest reasons, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical. One of the biggest reasons why I never really dated women like that, because I didn't like the drugs that a lot of them was involved in. I'm not
That's a
talking
good
hard
point.
stuff. I'm talking pills and weed.
Yeah, pills.
Pills and weed, man. That a lot of them engage in that type of vice, and that was one of my. It had really nothing to do with whatever. It was the habits that a lot of these women had that I didn't like, and that was one of the reasons why I never really fucked with women like that, because they're either smoking weed, drinking. But I don't mind it. Depending, you're not overdoing it, moderate, but pills and weed.
Yeah, I
You
just
know?
don't like broke bitches at all.
Yeah, yeah, and then they could be broke and they needy, and they getting mad at you. A lot of these women complaining. They complain about a lot of men and say they ain't shit because they broke and they feel like you're supposed to be an ATM.
Right.
It's not what it's gonna be. And see that's the story that's not told. But see, these fools that's on this panel, a lot of these Negroes, like, see, you wasn't here in the early formation of the manosphere the way it is now. The main thing was simp stories.
Oh yeah.
O'Shea became popular off of telling simp stories
Oh
of
yeah.
how how he was simping and tricking, and the chick buying shit, taking and
Right.
stuff. How the chick messed over him, and other guys was talking about stuff. That's how they all got these stories. But look, I'm like, look at the women you was dealing with.
That's kind of what O'Shea still talk about.
Yeah, he still talk about it. Look, but we keep doing more the celebrity stuff.
Right.
But
Anytime he talk about
his
relationships,
classic shit, like in the beginning, man, he had all kind of stories he'd be telling. Like, I was with this chick named blah blah blah. I just got off of work. She asked me to go buy some chicken. Find out, come there, she with a boyfriend, and I bought chicken for both. Shit like that.
damn. Yeah,
You know
see,
that,
I don't have no
huh?
stories like that. I don't. But
Yeah,
see, you know,
the kind of
that's his character. If he
yeah,
go in there and he
that's the
talking
kind of
about
stories he was telling, you know, and shit, you know. So, but these guys, man, like, and they like, you don't understand, you dealing with these women. I said, you said the right thing. The type of woman. Why are you continuously dealing with this type of woman?
what
Why
what
is that all you can attract? Is that you can't attract higher quality of women that don't have this bullshit? You dealing with nothing but women that deal with government benefits and stuff, shit like that. That tells me a lot about your value. That's all you can get.
yeah, and they do be talking about the one that's the way they explain it. They not talking about the one who makes she got a career job,
Nope.
you know what I mean, and
Nope.
she gets benefits.
Nope.
No, they
Nope.
talking about the chick that live in low income housing
Ain't doing shit.
I'm like, yeah, like what y'all doing over there anyway, man?
Like, why are you? And that's my thing. These Negroes are highly glued to these motherfucking Instagram model shit, OnlyFans type shit. You know, they gravitate to that shit. And I'm like, dude, don't you realize that's the reason why y'all niggas got the experiences? Look what you gravitating to. Look what you
but
want to deal with.
but
So
let's
you
let's
deal with
let's
that, you gonna deal with those consequences.
let's keep things in perspective though. A lot of these hoes in the projects be having a donkey, they be dragging something, and
They do.
and it's a lot of pretty women with the baby hair in the projects. Let's just keep it a bean.
It's true. That's true.
So when I know I try to tell people how to avoid ending up knocking up one of these broke bitches. Because what you'll do is, you know, she ain't got no car. So you got to go get her. You bring her to the crib, which I always advise against that. But you bring her to the crib, you take her down, and now you sleepy. It's automatic. You sleepy. You know what I mean? So you don't want to take her home. She's spending the night now. It ain't like you liked her, but you just never want to really take her home after you smash. Next thing you know, you've been doing that for a couple weeks. She got a whole panties and bra drawer at your crib.
Yep.
And you know, after 3-4 times of sex, you know, and she staying the night. Now you hitting raw. And you got this broke bitch pregnant, and everything that you entitled, everything you deserve, you getting now. You know what I
Yep.
mean? 'Cause you
And
you
she
you
will
just
depend on you and expect you to do whatever because she ain't got no means of taking care of herself.
absolutely. But shit, you know, you got what you signed up for. So I don't know why they always act like, oh, she made the decision to have the baby. Yeah, because you gave her all the cards. You know what I mean? Like once you stuck your dick in her and you got her pregnant, we all know that the laws say she could decide to do whatever she want to do. So I don't know why they keep skipping over the part where they gave her total autonomy. You know what I mean? Like I know I didn't appreciate that my BM could make all the decisions, but I know that's how the game go. I'm not gonna sit here and complain about that shit all the time. I do want to change some legislation about it, but I mean, I'm not gonna act like I don't know how she got pregnant. Like, like
Now these niggas
that
say
part
it's
is
her
weird,
fault. You chose wrong.
right? I
But
mean,
these niggas chose wrong.
right?
These niggas chose wrong. That's the reason why he got red pill rage because they chose wrong.
They don't think of that as a decision that had to be made. that's like, oh, we was just fucking. You know, it's like that part is cloudy. They only want to talk about the decisions that have to be made in the abortion clinic. They don't want to talk
Yes.
about the decisions that we all made that got us into that predicament to begin with. So it's hard to have the conversation because they being disingenuous anyway at its core. So that's why I really stopped talking to them, because I see where they at with it. It's just like, all right, we just gonna skip all the shit that we did, and then we're gonna talk about, well, it's all on the woman. The woman is doing everything, and she has this relationship with the government. It's like, we all already know this shit. You know what I mean? You feel how you feel about it, but the table pretty much been set, man. So you went out there and you had sex with the woman, and now you got to deal with it. But they don't want to hear that shit at all, man.
They sure don't. And my thing is, dude, like y'all, like, do you realize that, like straight up, like this is the reason why you in the position. What's up, wacky world of old TV? Like they don't look at their own errors, man. And I don't get on Manosphere. I just actually started back getting on panels with them. I only dealt with two, like maybe two or three panels. Like I go by Reg the Bad Guy. I go by Teapot. Who else I would go on sometime? I go see what Obsidian talking about here and there. But as far as going, I don't nearly go on panels like I used to. So it just so happened this week I had my interaction on Charles Faulkner, he's a policeman in Baltimore. He's the one that's on the top right. And then I was on a Mary Brown, who, these a lot. I'm cool with a lot of guys that was in the Manosphere, but they got tired of the bullshit. So they kind of like, we don't want to fuck with them, but we're gonna do content. And but the dudes, like the guys, even they still cool with some of the people that was once in there. So they'll get on the panel like they did a Mary Brown. BGS, I know you probably heard of BGS. This Negro got mad at me just 2 days ago. This nigga lost his mind, cursing, yelling, and he was up there trying to send out, oh, I got this article that says this. I go and read the article. The article, it was not designed for what he claimed it was. And this nigga got mad, started calling me motherfuckers. I said, well, damn, I thought you was this poised philosopher and shit, this poised intellectual, and now you're yelling at Kirk. But it's like, and they don't know how to deal when you have oppositional points. These niggas get mad, they want to start arguing and yelling. Man, you just saw what how I was, on there. They yell, I can't even get a word out. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, so you allowed to give your points and talk for 5 minutes. I talk for 10 seconds and you got 3 people talking to me. I can't even, so that's really one of the main reasons I don't get on the panels, because that's how you get treated when you have alternative views. But these niggas asked me to come up. They asked me to come up. And they already know my positions. And they act like they surprised.
But that's how YouTube chat panels
that's
work.
how it is, man. But yeah, I got my video on BGS that I'm doing tomorrow about 2:00 that I'm gonna discuss on him. This nigga was out. We were talking about wages and shit like that. Then this nigga started talking about the Moynihan report. The Moynihan report. I'm like, these niggas still talking about this shit.
They live and die by that shit.
I'm like, dude, that report is like 50 years old and it's been debunked. And nobody talks about this in college classes in regards to this within like sociology and other disciplines. Why are y'all continuing to talk about this shit?
Well, it's the only thing that they think they had that gives them a leg to stand on. The only written works that actually kind of validates what they're talking about. But at the same time, the study itself is just disingenuous.
It's obsolete.
It was always, just really some propaganda, if you ask me.
And that was one of the issues. They stated that Moynihan looked at this from a biased standpoint.
Right.
They also talked about how he skewed the information to fit a certain narrative because they were looking at getting a government contracts and this nigga was trying to get a bag with the government. So he had the research had to reflect a certain outcome in order for them to get the money and to do the things that they need.
Yeah, because when you make your proposal, you gotta obviously state why there's a problem, what the problem is, and how you can solve it.
Yeah.
Even if you gotta make a problem up, that's just how.
Yeah, but you gonna get a white man.
3 shit work.
You gonna get a white man to study black people and tell black people what the hell we need to do. And to me, it ain't strictly because of that, but this dude is not in our community. And this goes again with the government. When you got outside people studying you, like Charles said, we the most studied people, but then they're part of the problem, but telling you how you're supposed to be helped out of a problem.
Exactly.
Because they get the money. They have no intention to change you from solving your problems. We have to solve our own problems. So, but yeah, man, I'm gonna do that on him tomorrow. But see, Charles Faulkner came in here pissed off earlier. You missed it, but he was in the chat.
I actually did see him.
Oh, you did see him? He was up there, man. I didn't think he was gonna show up, but I'm sitting here like, brother, you sitting here lying, you embellishing stats, embellishing the process of women getting these, and then they had a chick from Baltimore came up on my panel. It was yesterday. I did the live and where I was talking about different things, and she was talking about how she been homeless, right? She got a child. She been in shelters. She had some bad situations that happened, trying to get her life together. And she was like, they don't be giving you all of these benefits he talking. And she got children, one child. In this isn't talking about they living in the most richiest places in Baltimore. And so they not.
I mean, it's possible because
but not on average though.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen, because it's really a matter of the house that you like. If somebody owns a property, they want to rent it out to you, and they accept Section 8. I mean, it could be a mansion for real. They will give it to you. You know what I mean? If you got a certain amount of kids, that house has a certain amount of rooms. But there is a ceiling. I'm not sure of how much it is that they are absolutely not going to give you more than this amount.
It depends on the city or the state. It depends on the funding. But see, they gotta understand the reason why the government is giving these subsidies and entitlements is to balance out crime, because they know if you don't get this,
right,
you're going to go into crime.
That's why I keep trying to figure out what do they want to do with these kids and shit, man? Because these kids are going to grow up. Because I know a lot of kids, man, start selling drugs when they're like 10, 11 years old in the hood.
Yes.
They got their first little bundle of weed. So
they're gonna be a bag boy. They're gonna be the lookout kid. That's how they get. That's what they're gonna get into, and that's what they don't understand. So, but yeah, man, I'm about to go ahead and wrap this up. Any last words?
Oh no, man. I wish I knew you'd be when you be over there talking to these manosphere cats.
Oh man, they know me, man. I've been man. I got tired of dealing with a lot of these guys, because I got a certain little reputation. My thing is that when I was doing the rumbles, that was like my safe space, because O'Shea, that was my boy. That's my boy, right? And so people couldn't get away with doing that kind of shit. But other spaces, man, I can't. It's places I literally can't go because they don't like my talking points and stuff like that. And I mean, you know, they know, you know, I could see when I first started doing it, man, it was almost similar to how you came in. You was trying to be cordial, and then next thing you know, nigga got to curse somebody out.
Yeah, because you know
It was very
they're
similar,
trying.
man. You came in trying to figure shit out, trying to, you know, okay, I'm gonna give benefits of the doubt, and then niggas got mad. Like when you had that argument with Obsidian, it was over you giving alternative viewpoints that wasn't appreciated, and then niggas like, who the fuck is this nigga name?
Right. Who's this new guy? I was like, man, God damn, I'm just the new guy, man. I don't know none of you niggas, man. I hear you saying something crazy. I feel
That
like I
shit
should
was so
address it.
funny seeing you go through that. Not funny that you did it, but I was on panels and shit watching in the class. These niggas like, this nigga name recognized. They a lot of them said you remind them of this Cerulean. I don't know if you know who Cerulean is. Cerulean Great.
I
But you
don't
do
know that.
sound like him a little bit. But they kept saying you remind them of this.
Shoot, man.
Oh,
Well,
that shit was funny, man. I was laughing my ass off. But it was like this nigga recognized game pop up out of nowhere. How he get on the show? They was trying to figure out how you got on Sister Joe's show.
I know they was in the heats about the JPEG X chick, man. They like, why she choose him over everybody else? I was like,
see Jessica X. Oh man, that's a series in itself.
man, them dudes is in
But
love.
man, it's so much stuff that Jessica X did, and it's so much stuff in which all she did was, and I don't have no problems because me and Jessica X had our little beef and shit back in 2020 and stuff, and it was
She
mainly
been around that long? See, I never knew who Jessica X was. I really
Jessica
never
X,
listened to the Manosphere. I didn't
man,
even.
Jessica X been in the space since like 2019.
Wow, I didn't even know it was a Black Manosphere that long ago until
Man,
recently.
the Manosphere been here since it was created like 15. I'm gonna say 16, but maybe 15. It's been because what happened? Angry Man, Obsidian, and O'Shea got together and called it the Manosphere. Before that, it was just guys talking red pill rhetoric, but they called it the Manosphere, the Black Manosphere, and those were the three channels that everybody gravitated to. And then people who were on panels began doing their own content. And then you had people like Minister Jab and so forth, and other guys that kind of was doing their own thing, but it was kind of associated. So that's kind of how it started. And so a lot of these guys that are content creators now were once on the panels all the time when we had Google Hangout. That's kind of how it evolved. So, but yeah, man, these men, they talking the same shit that they was talking back in 16 and 7. I'm like, man, this shit is getting old, man. Y'all niggas need to do some new shit. And then the thing about it, what's really hurting the Manosphere is that O'Shea left the Manosphere and Angry. Now, this nigga Angry Man, who's the biggest person, a lot of these guys are actually people who followed Angry Man. Really the ones that were like always hardcore about shit, they came from his camp. Now these niggas, not Angry Man, now talking about the faults of the man. It's like, nigga, you created the shit, and then now you want to talk about how bad it is after you didn't put the shit together.
and everything that he said he got a problem with is stuff he literally was just doing yesterday.
Points.
Yeah,
everything,
you the one.
I'm gonna tell you this.
He the one be doing everything he said he got a problem with.
Yeah, every talking point, I'm gonna tell you this. Any talking point about child support and shit like that, and child custody, that shit came from Angry Man.
Yeah.
O'Shea was mostly and was more comedy related shit, but O'Shea stuff was more about relationships and black women doing different shit, and Obsidian was more about like he had this term called black female fuckery, and he was talking about the shit that they would do in dating. It was mostly dating related, you know, being married, dating somebody, taking your money, going on dates. But that nigga Angry Man was talking about shit like custody, the black, not being able to see your children. He was actually talking about more serious related topics. It wasn't about the dating in itself. Because he experienced something. He had some situations with child support and stuff like that.
Right.
That's where they was at. What's up, BMT? So that's because each one of them had their own space, and then those that followed it kind of gave different personalities, different segments of the space. It had its own personality as far as the kind of content that people did. And see, the new people came in like that are popular now, like Ramil and Bernard. They didn't come in till like 2018, 2019. Bernard didn't really start popping till 2020. But Bernard came through Obsidian. So a lot of these guys, Ramil came through like O'Shea, and he did a little bit on with Obsidian and stuff like that. So a lot of them came through one of those. Most of the people that you see came through one of those three people, for the most part. At least one of them, or multiple. But that's who because they knew they had the views, they had the, if you can get on with them and be noticed, you can build your channel.
Right.
And that's what a lot of them did.
That's really what I don't like about it, because it's like you gotta go with a certain narrative.
Right.
You can't just say like something that's logical. You gotta like, even if you bring something up that's logical, you always gotta end it off with a fuck that black bitch and all them black bitches, or they gonna just shut your channel down.
Have that mindset, they ain't trying to hear you, man,
at all.
And see, they didn't like me, man, because they knew I was a therapist, and then they had proof that I was a therapist, so there wasn't no lie. They knew, and I actually showed them the fucking shit. So and then some of them actually doxed me to find out, and they knew it was true. So they had to deal with the fact that I was, and they didn't like this shit. Like, man, I had this one guy on O'Shea. This nigga was sleeping with a motherfucking sex doll, a Chinese sex doll. And these niggas was sitting there talking about that's normal.
O'Shea was just telling people that they need to just go ahead and like what were you saying? Like masturbate and look at OnlyFans.
I saw that crazy shit he put up.
What's wrong with dude? He go from just buy all the pussy.
Man, niggas was talking about
nothing about actually getting a bitch to like you.
Niggas was talking about getting sex robots. Talking about that may be the thing. Niggas was talking about getting blow up dolls. This nigga, I forgot to do. The dude was a ex-vet and shit. This nigga sat there and was doing videos with the Chinese baby dolls and shit, sitting on the goddamn couch, acting like it was a fucking. I'm like, and they got mad at me talking about I was judging, and I sat there and said something is mentally wrong with this person.
Well, what do you call it when you when somebody what is it, arachnophilia or something? Like, what is it when somebody will have sex with a dead person?
Oh, that's
some shit.
Yeah, like it's nephrophilia or something like, I forgot.
Any one of these niggas will do that. Because I mean, if you'll have sex with a sex doll, and tricking is real close to that too. Because I mean, just doing it. I mean, I never did it, but just doing it like at the spur of the moment, you just did it. I can understand that, but when it's like a lifestyle for you, and that's the only way you have sex,
it's called necrophilia.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was it.
Yeah,
but that really shows that you really don't want to have any type of connection at all. Like, even though I don't love these hoes, so don't take it to the other extreme either. But these guys really don't want to have any type of like any type of like rapport at all with women. They only want to have sex with them. And I wouldn't put it past anybody who would first be like on the tricking side, but also is having sex with dolls and robots and shit. I mean, that's like, you basically just not even really with a person. That's, they cool with that. So I could see somebody
Man,
sliding into the, they'll
that
just have
is
sex with
incel.
anything.
Man, that is incel like behavior, man. Only incel related behaviors would even consider shit like that.
Yeah, that's extra super weird. But
Yeah,
I look
man.
at the few people who at the head of it, and I just know, I ain't got to really look in the chat to know that everybody's crazy. Because if it's this many thousands of people following these dudes and they weirdos, I mean, what else can come from it?
Really ain't nothing coming from it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the guys that are most popular are literally weirdos. The stuff they be saying is like, all right, these niggas is crazy,
And they be
and then
like,
they got
that's
all
why,
these people following them.
man, the dude was telling me, man, I never forget, man. I went to one of their panels and they say, that's why DERELL, we don't fuck with you, DERELL. We know what you're doing and saying, nigga, you always. I was like, because I refuse to say dumb, stupid shit, and you don't like when I point out the shit that y'all saying that I know is mentally like, nigga, that shit does not apply to real life, and you want me to sit and allow you to get away with that shit without pointing it out.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how they
they
get
straight
paid,
up
though.
said, man, they straight up told me, we would want to fuck with you, but you always gotta say this. You always gotta
Mm-hmm.
take up for the woman. I'm like, okay.
Right.
But you want me
Yeah,
to know?
you fucking it up. That's why I
Yeah.
couldn't be over there, because it's like, all right, now you saying something that's completely crazy, don't make no sense, but I know that's going to get a rise out of these dudes in the chat. They're going to super chat you, and
Yeah.
I get it, you know what I mean? But
It's some
I
money. It's a
I can't do it, you know what I mean? I
I
can't
can't I
just be
couldn't
saying
do it either,
anything.
man. I'm like, man, I'm not about to sit here and lie and say all this dumb shit, looking crazy. Niggas thinking that it's okay to be in red pill rage and shit.
Yeah, they create the incels with
Yeah,
this
I'm like, dude, man,
ideology.
it is not okay for you to be in rage. It is not okay for you to be unstable emotionally, where you're wanting to harm somebody or harm yourself and get arrested. Like, that shit is not normal. And so that's why I actually left. I left the space and went back to the Umar sector in like, I think September 2020, because that shit was becoming crazy, man. These niggas, I was beefing with a lot of people and shit. Uh, I was beefing with Jessica X Camp, with Mr. Fantastic and all of them. These niggas from let me tell you what else these niggas did. These niggas would have these motherfuckers that's traveling across seas and shit. Passport brothers. This niggas was going across
Right.
seas, getting
Mm-hmm.
arrested for pedo behavior and shit.
I could only imagine.
That shit happened, man. This nigga named Nico World got in trouble. Other motherfuckers was doing shit. They got mad at me, man. I never forget this. I had posted that I was gonna do a video like a week from the day that, whatever, on Nico Worldwide. Man, these niggas was like, DERELL, don't do it, man. Don't do it. It's gonna be bad for you. Don't do it, man. Don't, man. Whatever you do, just don't do that, man. Do something else. You could talk about Brazil, but don't, man. I kid you not, man. When I posted and I did the thumbnail on what's going on with, I think it was something about Nico Worldwide doing something, and I got emails and shit. Niggas came to the channel telling me, man, don't do that video, man. You don't need to do that. We don't know the story. You don't got the information, even though the shit was in print about what he was doing in Brazil, and I think he got caught in Alabama or somewhere like that. The dude page got took down, I think. Nico Worldwide.
Man,
This
that's
nigga was
sad.
popular. This nigga was popular, man. This nigga got caught up messing with little girls and shit.
Dang.
It was crazy, man. And
Yeah, that's why I just don't even go over there. I mean, I mean, I actually, the don't what's that?
yeah,
The
go ahead.
don't recommend channel. I done don't recommend like all them. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even want they shit coming across. I just don't even
yeah,
want to be
man.
enticed into watching it again. Like, I literally think they crazy.
Yeah,
I just
no,
wanted to
man,
make sure
crazy.
nobody thought I was ever a part of no black manosphere. These niggas is out of their mind.
Yeah, man, shit is crazy, man. And see the thing about it, they'll go out their way to go to like a new space or somewhere where they may be popping or whatever. Just like what happened. This happened yesterday on a Miri channel, man. Miri did a video last night talking, and he talked to a millennial, Gen Z, and millennial uh, ladies, right? They in their
Mhm.
early 20s. They got to be like 21, 22. I think the oldest maybe like 23 years old, right?
Okay.
Let me tell you what these niggas did. These niggas hopped their, it's about three of them, hopped their ass on the panel and start arguing with the damn girls. Luke telling them they had shit to do. The ladies was telling them about, they said that they had bad experiences dating some of the black men that they dealt with, right? And they said that, and they were like, hey, I don't got a lot of experience being young as I am, but this is what I found when I date black men. This is what I found when I date other this and that. And they was just talking about their dating experience. These niggas jumped their ass on the panel and started talking about, well, you do realize that the statistics say in 1975 that the black women did this. So what do you? They changed, they derailed the whole conversation. And these women were like, why every time y'all talk about something, y'all only point out negative shit? Like y'all are very negative. Like what? Why do y'all do? They was because they never had any interaction with the manosphere before. These niggas got to just start saying all this shit, arguing with the women. And I'm like, man, these are young women. Some of these women, these girls were like old enough to be your daughters.
Yeah, like that's at like 21. I'm wondering why they even having that conversation with them.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, why are y'all pestering these young ass girls that, yes, a lot of them had certain points of view, but those points of views come from lack of experience, and that can only change the older you get, and they get to learn more through time, through trial and error, and just becoming older and mature. These niggas was treating these women, little young women, like they were like mature 35, 40-year-old women that got some time under their belt. And that shit was crazy. And the niggas they ended up getting kicked out because they was just doing too much. Yeah, Chaos was there. What's up, Chaos Rain?
Hey, what's good?
What's up, brother? What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Broadcast with that. Because it's supposed to see for the experience of millennials and Gen Z. I've noticed now going back to that person that these dudes they brought their so-called.
Hey, my man, real quick. Sorry about that, but I'm actually have to drop down, D. So I
Okay,
appreciate it.
brother.
I'm a you know what I mean. I'm gonna listen from the clouds though.
All right,
Appreciate you.
peace,
All
peace,
right, peace.
peace. What's up? No, what's up,
Yeah,
Chaos?
they brought their so-called red pill rage, their manosphere, yada yada, and reflecting back on it, that if this what these dudes are gonna be doing on a bunch of on a topic was only with the women and they could voice their opinion and this is what they bring. Personally, they shouldn't even be about to be up there personally. Now I think about it, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
the way how it got to it, and I'm sorry, Compass was very egotistic.
As
Time
always.
shameful for he should not have done that. But you see, even with the moment, when I reflect back on it now, that I think I'll have some special in store for some dudes if this thing happens again personally. Because personally, we gotta be serious as people. Now if it was focused on men's experience, and we're not gonna let no woman do certain things like that, bring their little so-called divestment, little nonsense, their so-called talking points on rhetoric. On if it was supposed to young boys that's become men the same way, you get me?
Right.
Brothers on that, but because women is these dudes have propensity said I got go in it and bring some dumb shit that has nothing really to do with the topic. either you choose better or whatever the fuck case may be. I mean, it is their so-called truth. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I didn't like about the night was the craziest, but one thing with the young girl.
But you're talking to 21, 22-year-old girls.
No, one was 23 and the other one was in the 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll say
young, man.
I would say this. One thing with the young people, her or anybody personally, I always go by their mindset, and that my problem with the youth now, because we're older, that they get too much of their understand reality through social media and YouTube. I hear the same divestment conversation, the same thing about the killing every 5.4 hours, which really was nonsense, is debunked. But I've noticed where they're getting this mindset, DERELL. They're getting this from the same content creators as programming doctrine. That's what I tell most black people. When you're on this media platform, you gotta be very careful the words you're fucking saying. Because these youth are being heavily indoctrinated now. Like a lot of them have gone through hurt, pain, and they look for escapism. And they come to the internet for that daily dose of escapism. And again, fully indoctrinated. Personally, from what I'm being, bro. I should have been hearing talk points from young girls like that, from what these other stupid older chicks that's indoctrinated. Same with these dudes with their nonsense.
Right. What's up, BMT?
It's frightening, bro.
Right, it is. What's up, BMT?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Chilling, man. Just having a conversation about
shout out
this.
to D and shout out to Chaos. Let the Chaos ring.
Yes. Oh yes.
I remember. I remember when damn. Sometimes I wonder. I've been here for a long time. I've been doing content for almost 6 years. It's almost 6 years.
Okay.
And it hasn't gotten any better.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten a lot worse. I didn't know that happened on the Mary show. And some people grew and some people regressed and some people stayed still. Like I said, man.
Damn, he went out.
Hello? He's gone? Is he gone?
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah, but like I said, DERELL, overall, I was disappointed personally, and now that I'm finding out the way these guys are thinking, how they act around the opposite sex, I have to take a step back personally, because now these niggas don't know how to act around any woman.
They sure don't.
And it's bothersome that these men are older than us, bro, or your age.
Yep.
You think you would carry yourself with a little bit more decency, Don't be egotistic or bring up this shit, this talking points. Some of these girls, and the ones that don't know enough about this shit,
Right?
Give me the boys, Personally, they don't know enough about this. They only hear this from certain space, and mind you, like anything, you're learning as you go. And like I said, I could have probably pushed back, but because it was a certain night, I would have to really challenge it. But I'm not going to go push back when I'm trying to hear certain people's stories, But like I said, I tell young people many times, be careful of certain consumptions of not only the men, but also these ladies. You should always question your reality. You know what I'm saying? If black people had it really bad as it is, you would see it, and you would see it in droves. From the violence, the abuse, etc. It does exist in some way, but it does not really affect your reality because you have to live in a society that is geared and towards for white survival at all costs. Once you know that, you know how to move properly in this environment. People got to have move with a sense of purpose, stop being scared. Personally, you get me? In my opinion. So with all the information, with all the rhetoric that we use towards each other, is really not only for the clout, but to make some more and more money. And really be honest, this is not really a money-making thing, personally. Because no one has really gotten seriously rich going at the opposite sex. Last time I checked. especially off of YouTube. I could be wrong, but I don't see a whole lot of content creators that have stronger channels than you, me, DERELL, and they get filthy rich.
Right.
Personally. So it makes me wonder if you're not talking about the opposite or having these gender battles, what purpose you serve? You don't really bring nothing tangible to anywhere. You bring nothing new to the markets. Personally, gossip is nothing new to the market. I was once listening to one lady went live with some therapists, not in your area background, but they're in some clinical therapy, some got certifications, and they said personally, as a person or a woman or whoever that's gossiping in the relationships, it is doomed to really fail. You know, because it's negative.
Right.
There's something wrong with you mentally if you have to constantly be gossiping.
Facts.
So we have to really examine ourselves personally and seeing that these are things that affect our lives and in our personal relationships, which we have control over, you know. And I'm not really a proponent to keep telling people you should choose better, because that's been loosely termed now, bro. You know, because a lot of people, let's be honest, majority Negroes don't want to do better, much as want to say choose better. They like where they're at. It's comfortable. You know, even with the physics. Yeah, it's bad, but like I said, the man's not losing no sleep. Matter of fact, if people did a video on right now and he pumps up on live stream that asks his views and opinions, he'll tell you it's nothing. In his opinion. He's wanting just to present himself and see where he stands. And if he doesn't meet these women's cup of tea, he moves on. You get me? Regardless of say the man doesn't have no social skills and all stuff, I don't know that. Because we live in an antisocial environment today. Which people nowadays is being very sociable, besides being on the internet, bro. Let's keep it real, DERELL. We are trained now to be more antisocial than we were a generation ago. Once the internet starts to get up and running, we are trying to be less interactive. Hell, I think this direction is safer because most people, let's be honest, DERELL, don't want to take rejection.
Nope.
And that's one thing I always stress, that for you to overcome as a man or a woman, but just a man especially, you must learn how to accept and embrace rejection. Because that's a component that's always going to be amongst you in your life. There's some people that's not going to like it, some people are going to reject you. What do you do after the rejection? Do you go in a corner and cry, or you keep it pushing? That determines where you are mentally as a man.
Right.
And how well you can rebound. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of black men, if you hear them, don't like rejection. You know what I'm saying? That woman that rejected that physics, it is a telling point. So a lot of black men say, you should take him. No person has no right to take whoever. You get me?
Yeah.
No one. You know what I'm saying? You as a man, you're not right to take this stop or anything. So if she chooses to take you and you're all confident, she gotta take you. That's not hurting you. You're not losing no sleep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it goes back to the notion of the Pookies and Ray Rays and Lambs. And I tell most black people, especially men, you gotta stop labeling yourself in these categories. It does not serve you no good. You know what I'm saying? If a woman is gonna pick you, or doesn't want to pick you because you don't have a certain swag and stuff, that's the one you should not be fucking with. That's a dumb fucking woman. Right there, if she picks more of the social and good looks, there by default, she's gonna produce and Harvard your dumb child. And we've seen it countlessly. I don't care how good the child is. As like what you doing to nourish this child to be great. I'll wait. That should cut a lot of the decisions that men make with some of these women.
Right.
I mean, women make decisions always, all day, every day. And they have to deal with the consequence for the environment, the society. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what benefits they get off this. You're not getting out of this if you're still stuck on stupid and dumb. I know, and you might know, I'm gonna tell you this, I know one friend that had a few family members that's on the assistance one generation and they pass down to the next generation to be on it. That's a choice because they're training the next one to be more dependent and stupid. So I tell men very, very wisely: choose properly and choose the best you can. You can't go out here busting that now. It's going to cost you now, and it's costing a lot of black men if they're getting cost and hurting their pockets with the decisions. Yeah. So I hope this was clear. You know, I just came up here just to give my little short take on this. You know.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I know. The other day I was, you know, BGS. I got my video on BGS tomorrow based on what happened on the mirror the other day. So I'm looking forward to that live stream tomorrow at 2. I'm gonna talk about my interaction with him.
Are you gonna play it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna review our interaction. I want, you know, and I know I came in there, but the thing about it, man, I'm sick of hearing BGS. I'm just gonna be honest with you, and I'm sick of him lying. And he always trying to pull out some research study that he don't understand and shit. This Negro's up there lying. I read the damn research article, and the research article only dealt with. I'm thinking he quoting some stuff that happened with like the whole country, the data for the whole country. They selected 350 cities and towns. It wasn't the whole total U.S. population. It actually totaled 55.
Was this majority where black people are in like roughly over 10%?
No. This was everybody. This was not representative of just the black population. It was the complete. It was a mixture of all demographics, and it totaled 55 million workers. Okay, and we know it's more than 55 million workers in the United States. So why would you give a blanket statement talking about? I think he said 80% of people make under $20,000 or some shit. That was a lie, and that was not the case. And I'm like, brother, did you need to keep telling me? Well, I got my research. I read the research for like 10 minutes, realizing that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I came back up to let him know he getting mad, because the thing about it, what I noticed, man, these guys don't know how to deal with when somebody challenging you on your talking points. They get mad and shit. And I'm like, if you are as intelligent as you claim you are, just intellectually rebuttal and support your stance. You don't have to get all mad, upset. This nigga start cursing me out, calling you motherfucker, and then I'm like, I get it, man. I wasn't there to kind of blow up, but man, I got tired of him. This is what I didn't like. It was basically when he came up, and I know it was unexpected. Him and Mary went back and forth cordially, but then everything was about him and what he thought. And then this nigga was talking for a long ass time. Each time. And then he'll sit there and say, can I talk now? I'm like, nigga, you talk the majority of the time while we sat and listened. But it was, I enjoyed the show, but he's just not what people think he is, man. He's a fraud.
Well, my feel would be just because he's 6'3" now, that he's a man that he has actually tapped out. That's when he said, ask the question, why should I? Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. If you're doing what you're doing and you have that thinking, I hope that most people that follow you don't have that same thinking. Because there's nothing really guaranteed as men.
Yeah, but
especially in America.
Yeah, but he's speaking as a man in the latter parts of his fucking life. How you gonna tell a 20-year-old some shit like that?
Tell who? You broke up. Say it again.
I said that he's at the latter stages of his life, the latter end of his life. Why would you say some shit like that to a 20, 25-year-old kid, a young man that's just starting his?
Yeah.
Don't do for your community unless they're gonna give you something. Like,
really? I don't see that notion, because real men and I don't want to compare ourselves with other men, but let's say I don't see other thinking like this with other men. Thomas saying, why should I do it? What is it for me? I don't hear this. This is something new around the internet. If we go outside in it, DERELL, you don't hear most dudes talk about say why I should do something. What is it for me?
This
Most
nigga won't. This nigga claim.
Average black men don't think like that.
I don't know what.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know what power he think black women got. I got all this power and influence and shit that we got to go to them to help us. But then you want them to submit to you, and they the one who got the power and you don't. How the fuck? What? I'm like, dude, that they don't even. I'm like, brother, do you realize this shit don't even make? Why? If you claim black women have all the power, right?
Yeah.
Why would they submit to a man with no power? They only going to submit to somebody that got more power.
It doesn't really make. Even this country give certain groups of our people certain benefits, and they do give a leg up to maybe more than the other sex, but we gotta understand it's all from a warfare. You get me? Because let's be honest, if I'm able to keep you dependent, I win. You get me? Black people have not broken out as a collective right now in America out of the dependent stage. You get me? Right. So as long as we feel we need to be dependent on these other groups of people, then we're always gonna have these discussions and problems overall as a race in America, personally. And I tell black people many times, could come to the point, like Amos said, that if the white man has to choose his children and yours, he's going to choose theirs. And
of course.
And we have not reached that pinpoint. And I tell black people, you don't want that to reach that pinpoint because now it's going to put your backs against the wall. That you're going to have to do something out of survival. And I think black people today have not got to that survival instinct stage yet, personally. And I'm not talking about violence and war and all that shit. I'm talking about real survival. Oh, damn. Yeah. I give him 2 seconds. He got kicked out. Okay. WMT? What happened? He got kicked out.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it gets to a point where you're going to have to really do for self. And, like I said, we're at that stage now because we're more moving towards, what do you call it? A gig economy. So like I said, as people, you're going to have to educate yourself and you're going to have to work with other black people. You have no choice. You get me? The side's pushing you that. They push individualism, but they only push that to a certain demographic of us because we don't think as collective enough to really do what's necessary for our best interests. See, like Mr. BJS and most of the if they think like that, they feel this rugged individualism is a way to go, and there should be an incentive at the end of it. When you do things, you don't expect no rewards.
Yeah, the reward is being successful. The reward comes in what
no man thinks it. It said if I don't make some, I don't eat. You get me? That's how it's always been. You get me? And you want to do this for your own self and in the other groups of your other men. You get me? That should be the focus. But because the society has dampened us down and dumbed us down to a point now we have to be much dependent on them, we don't see the emphasis because everything's given to us. Now imagine we live outside America where, and this is what this is my belief, DERELL. There's no way help most black men or black people in general will never go to any predominant black country because they don't want to be around other black people. In their back of the mind, they don't want to be around other black people because it breeds poverty. It breeds self-worth, love, and it breeds some other self-hating within themselves. That's when you hear when niggas talk, they talk about if they do decide to leave this country, they want to go to another country that's predominantly white. Have you noticed that?
Right.
I know him talking about going to some parts of the island where there's black people reside. I know him talking about Africa or what are black nations, real black nations. Some parts, maybe some parts of South America, possibly I could probably label, but I can't use that because nowadays when they talk about South America, they talk about places where they're still white dominant. I don't give a fuck. It's run by 80% where black. Is it black people running it? No. When you go down there, you don't see more than you meet. You're seeing somebody that's other. Correct?
Right.
Most people are not talking about going to actual African nations, black countries. They're talking about get away from blackness. And right there, what it tells me, that's what they're thinking. I must escape blackness. Because blackness is bad. Blackness is evil. White is pure. White is good. You are a conqueror because you look at yourself as less worthiness.
Right.
So what you have to correct that. One thing you do that is you change your genetics. You say, I got procreate something that is less of what I am, for protection, for safety. And not only men think like this, women think like this as well. But it takes a while for ladies to start thinking like that. You get me? But overall, you know what I'm saying? I see self-hatred and I see it breed on a lot of black people constantly, you know, because I see how they talk, they interact with other black people. You know, I think I have, even during the chat room with Mary, if you go back to chat room, a lot of these streams we do, you see there's a whole lot of females that, you know, have issues. You get me? That I was just sitting there reading with other dudes going back and forth. So
Right.
is that Mr. Percy, aka Mr. Research?
That's Q, man. It's my brother.
Oh, sorry, Q. Yeah, Q.
What's going on, man? Look, it's like I always say. Black dudes have fallen in love with complaining.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it really is. Chaos just made a great point. You go to every other country, and the first thing you want to do is make a black baby, and then you don't even teach that black baby about blackness. They got to figure it out for themselves. So all the white and the Latin people say, well, all they do is create bastards.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you're not feeding this kid with no information. You're not giving no infrastructure. But 11 years we've been on these internet streets.
Mm-hmm.
And those of us who are professional or who have traveled, yeah, we good. But the rest of the cast is living in a fantasy world. I give Charles Faulkner credit on the fact that he's a police officer and he got his situation established.
Yes.
All the other guys, though, you don't know. You know, they hide what they do.
Right.
They're afraid to show anything other than that one corner of the house. They always in a car or something because they baby mama only allows them to talk about black women when they in the car. They can't even show you their front porch, grass, a tree, none of that because the baby mama they live with don't allow it. So you got to look at this stuff for what it is. You guys get mad at this stuff. I've been figured this stuff out when I exposed Hardcore Tito years ago for being a rapist.
Right.
First thing that was told to me was, man, that ain't cool. That ain't cool.
But they treated this Negro like he was Martin Luther King getting out of jail when he came out last year. I'm like, are you serious? They actually treated him like John McCain getting out of the being a POW out of Vietnam. That's actually how they treated him.
But you got to understand, as long as he's talking the talking points and attacking black women, it's all cool.
That's my
we're going to excuse his criminal record, and I've been hearing about Arco too from a lot of spaces. And mind you, I don't follow every man on YouTube. When I find that you're doing criminal acts and you're still getting ignored, and to the point where
remember, man, I didn't know Hardcore Tito did what he did. I learned that through Mr. Research because I actually used to watch Hardcore Tito until I found out.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did.
Well, see, everybody was like, "Mr. Research, why did you do that?" I said, first of all,
it's the truth.
Well, no, even bigger than that. Long time ago, when we was first forming the Manosphere, it was only 4 of us, and Angry Man wanted Tito to be part of the shit so bad.
Wow.
I said, dude is not, and that's what made me reluctant to be part of it, because if you're trying to pull this dude in, you're not even vetting this dude. Then out the gate, the dude wanted to fight Angry Man, the one that was pulling him in. Then the dude talking about Minister Jap, let's me and you box and have people pay per view.
Yeah, because he was in Chicago.
And I said, oh, this dude is on some money grab shit. This ain't about helping brothers. But little did I know, none of the shit was about helping brothers. You know what I'm saying? And so this dude's talking about he want to fight Alpha Male Wisdom. That's what I was at the time. Now, mind you, I had more subscribers than everybody, but I never tried to little boy nobody. I never tried to say nobody was struggling and all this little bullshit. So when when somebody doxed them, I don't believe in doxing folks, but somebody doxed them, and when they doxed them, I just capitalized off it. I'm like, how you gonna be raping a 13-year-old? Oh no, she wasn't 13, she was 15, and then somebody put the actual records up. Chick 13. I'm like,
Right.
dude.
We're actually 12 years old when it happened, but
Oh
the
well,
13 was when all the charges and everything. But
see.
yeah,
But then in your speech, you tried to blame the two chicks for not telling the truth. Then your second charge was the fact that you sat up here, pulled at 36 years old, pulled the gat on some woman and took her purse. That's
yeah,
13.
but he also had strangulation. That's
No,
what he
no,
went to jail for.
that's the third one.
Oh,
That's the
that's the third. Okay, but
And the reason that's the most important one is because the first charge, the rape charge, look at the address. It was his mama house
right,
in Calma. Look at where the strangling took place for a 40-something-year-old man. It was at his mama's house.
right,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
40 years old, you strangling somebody at your mama's house. That's why you going in the basement, because you're in the basement of your mom's apartment in Calma.
and don't
But
have his own shit. But you want to talk about black men and black women,
no,
this and
no,
that,
no, no, no. I'm cool with the fact he want to talk about whatever it is he want to talk about. You're not that guy to be threatening folks. You not that guy. You're living in a fantasy world, and your fans are in the fantasy world with you because you're not that guy. So what's so funny is one dude said to me, he said, "When Tito get out, won't you go see him?" So you want me to spend what 2, 3 G's to fly down to Chicago and fight a dude who is struggling to pay restitution, bruh. For you to even say that shit is ridiculous.
yeah,
And look, I like fighting, but that don't even make no sense. This dude is struggling,
yes, the
So
same.
well,
So
let me just make this point. So I said
okay,
all of that. I said all of that to make the point that these times that we doing on the internet, kids are going to look back at this and be embarrassed. They're going to compare Black Panther movements. They're going to compare the creation of the internet, the ability to talk over the internet, all these great things Black folks did. But they're going to look at these 1999 Blacks and they're going to say, this is some bullshit.
I get it. I get it.
Because the kids are not into blackness the way we are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, Gen Z, the ones that's coming, they're more prone to really get along, play along, and race mix than anyone else. Personally,
But what's so bad is for the girls, it ain't gonna work.
You
It
don't think
ain't.
so?
I know so. I've seen it in France. I've seen it in England, and I'm seeing it here right now. Because it starts off cool. It starts off cool, but everybody gotta understand. Legacy and bloodline people, they don't take a chance.
Yep. Because
Yeah, you're
once
right.
once they get older and mature, that shit you experienced in high school go out the window.
That shit you experience in college go out the window.
Right?
When you buy your first house as a white or Latin or whatever the hell or Asian, all bets are off. You ain't dating no more. You are strategically fucking.
Mm. Lala's not gonna like this research.
No. Let me lay that out real quick. You are strategically fucking. You are only fucking women who have the potential to fit your house that you've created.
Mm.
You ain't fucking randoms no more. Randoms don't even know where you live.
Mm.
You go look at most of these white boys. They got a Cooper car or some BMW and a small ass starter house.
Right.
When they go out, they are strategically going after certain women that fit that demographic. They ain't random no more. So for the black girl, her problem is that it's the same problem you're going to see with Michelle Obama's daughter.
Mhm.
You're dating white guys now.
Yeah.
Wait until that college body weight start coming in. Then we're gonna see if those white guys are really serious about bringing you in. Because see, even the rapper E got to stay a certain weight size. When you start not being as attractive, now you got Venus Williams problems. You can get with all the white dudes you want. Your bodyguard, your driver, your tennis coach. She on her 14th white guy, and I don't hate Venus Williams, but the problem is Venus is not. Those guys are dating Venus. They're not strategically trying to keep Venus, even though she got a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, she snagged one Caucasoid. I'm saying that, you know.
Yeah, but she don't understand, man. Like
Who?
she only in the game because she is Venus. If she wasn't Venus,
No.
she
Who
wouldn't
did
be
she
in the
snatch?
game.
Who did she snatch?
That one that was
Ain't
secretly
nobody
for.
married her. Ain't nobody married her.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, Serena. You talking Venus? Oh, my fault. I get confused.
Yeah. You talking about Serena?
Yeah,
Venus.
you know what, Venus? She's an interesting one because they talking about says she's a virgin. Say, how long are you gonna be staying a virgin this long?
She on her.
Man, let me tell you something, man.
She on her 14th white man.
Man, Serena. When it comes to Serena, talk to me in about 5 to 8 years, and then you'll find out about that. That marriage ain't lasting.
Well, how long have they been married now? 3 years now? 4 years?
3 or 4. But
about 3 years, about 3 or 4 years.
I mean,
and I'm gonna tell you, what's gonna be the problem. That isn't he an Armenian? That Armenian grandmother gonna be the problem.
But he created a
grandfather.
But he already created a mixed child with this.
Yeah, the grandfather. That his family is going to be the problem. She is not. It's all cool right now, but as that child get older, they're gonna try to monopolize the culture that she in the way she grows up and so forth. It's gonna become a problem long term.
You already see she changed she changed her makeup for the first time.
Yeah.
Wearing
that dumb ass wearing that crazy looking shit. I'm like, what the hell wrong with you?
But hold on. What y'all gotta understand is it's in divorce court, it's all about who has less money.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, obviously, he's good. If he divorced, yeah, he'll get mostly half her shit because they're in California, of course.
Right. So, like I said, these chicks, man, it's going to backfire on chicks.
But you know what's funny? You mentioned that, Mr. Research, is that a lot of women feel say, at least that leg up because he's white. But if a guy said she makes more than him, they talking about this dude is a billionaire. How
man,
so?
We gotta understand, man.
Because if I Google him right now, it should tell at least what his net worth is. And
well, he can't be a billionaire.
No, he ain't no billionaire. He ain't billionaire. No.
Yeah.
No. So he sold several parts of Reddit before he married her.
Yeah. He ain't got her. He's a millionaire, but he ain't got Venus money.
No.
Yeah, no. I give him 10, maybe 20 million.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think he's worth about somewhere between 10, 15 million. But Venus worth about what, maybe 50, 75?
No, her net worth right now is over 100 million.
Yeah, that ain't the same. That ain't the same.
Yeah, so she can't divorce him. She'll take a loss. So but I guess my greatest point is that, and I don't want this to happen to the younger sisters, but the younger sisters are in a situation, that same thing in France and England, where your top tier dudes are getting picked off early because they don't believe in blackness the way their predecessors did. And so as these women date, like Michelle Obama's daughter, it's all good while you're in your 20s. When you hit 30, White guys show you what time it is. White husbands are at 4%, you guys. 4% for the past 50 years.
I thought I said it was growing fastly. These people were pushing
No,
it.
no. What happens is it drops down to 2. It goes back to 3. They start putting out newspapers that it's growing. It grows up to 4. It drops back down to 2.5. Then it grows back up. The highest it ever got was 4.1, and that was
Yeah, and that's the lowest.
And that's a period of since integration, 55 years now.
Yeah, 50 years ago. It's never been over 4 point.
Man, white men understand that they can't have white sons. I've been saying this for years.
All
So they
about
don't want no nigga babies.
They looking at they want
This
white
man said, "Oh,
sons.
we gonna get a mixed."
And the thing about it is they can't give them that.
He don't mind biracial daughters because he knows he can sell that to another white son. But a biracial son, show me how many white fathers are close to their biracial son.
Exactly. And so
but that safe it applies to the so-called white woman with her biracial daughter.
yeah, that's a little different for women.
You sure about that? You think so?
Yeah, because women are more connected to, depends on who their husband is.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's why I said if a black dude is truly a leader, he's supposed to lead at least with information that wife, whether she white, Asian, whatever. But a lot of dudes don't. A lot of dudes just want to exist.
Yeah.
Some of them are dumb, bro. Let's keep it real. They're just dumb. They how they gonna leave with information if they were not properly even not only well read but try and better their minds. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, true. But
let me tell you something, Miss Reachers. When I hear a lot of niggas on YouTube, most are regurgitating what they see and watch for YouTube. A lot of them have not read a book, pick a book, own several books. I have a good library. I had to get back, read them, try to understand some of these books. But at least I have it. If I go to these niggas' house, I barely might see a few of these textbooks or books, general of variety subjects. Because in the black household, let's keep real, we don't have books. Even though we have technology, we could Google it. But if you go other racial groups, they still keep physical books.
Yeah, that's very true.
And you know why they keep it? Because they know information and old material, even up there, is very relevant. Because they had to sit there and actually open the page, turn the page, understand the page.
And I tell you,
you can't get that from looking at it at a screen. Go ahead.
I tell you something else to your point. I have some books that were from libraries that were about to be closed.
Oh, you got those for cheap.
Oh yeah. But here's the funny thing. Some of that information ain't nowhere on the internet.
I know that. That's why I try to get as much the information as possible while the book's still around.
Man, I was just, you know what? I had an argument with, I hate to say his name, but Taz about that. And I'm like, brother, you are not doing real scholarship. I said, when the last time you went to a college library?
Bro.
I'm like, man,
you the last person to but listen,
I told him, and this was a while ago, but before we had our little spat with each other, I tried to tell him, I said, that is not real research. I said, you don't even go to a real library. You depending on Google to give you a database that's not infinite.
Bro.
Google, there's a lot of information that Google don't have in that database.
Can I keep real with you, Dieter and Miss Research? I was listening to a part of a live stream when one dude, I was going back and forth with him, and he told me that most scholars got awards just by the help of Google. After he told me that bullshit, I said, bro, this is where we are as a society. And once you start talking like as a fucking dumb fucking nigga, you're done.
Man.
Now they control the information completely now. Now you're not going to make the attempt to look for the information that's still foundation books. I don't give a fuck how old the books are.
Yeah, that's just like BGS. When I had the argument with him the other day, pulling out all kind of shit out of his ass, research that he found and don't even know what the shit mean. And then when I'm trying to explain it to him, he want to get mad and start trying to curse me out. And he's used to just sitting there saying shit, and people just, yes, BGS, you right, and they don't do any verification. Just take what he says literally.
Yeah, but see, his thing is, and I give him half credit. I give him half credit. The fact that he does read, but sometimes he doesn't interpret stuff well. It's like that.
Exactly. That's what I tried to tell him the other day.
Yeah, it's like that classic argument he and I had. He's trying to sell people on a study that's inconclusive, as if
a study that he don't even understand.
That's my point. That's my point. And I'm 20 years in medical. The lady I was talking to, she's in science research. You're not even part of our conversation. You're a reader of this stuff. We live this stuff.
Yeah.
So you're trying to sell to the black male community. And look, guess what? People rock with him so much that they're willing to roll with it. And I'm not knocking that, but
even if it's wrong.
But that's cool with me. But allow me to have this conversation with a person that's my somewhat colleague. You don't know nothing about this stuff. So if a person has been kicked out, normally when you do a study, the college hosts you from anywhere to two to 3 years, maybe even 5 or 7. Okay. This particular study on the beautiful ones, Moustopia, this shit, he got kicked out every year and a half. He got kicked out. He had to restart 6 times in a 7-8 year period. That's not normal.
Nope.
So you had to restudy with 6 different institutions.
That means something was done unethical.
That means something had a question mark. Let's just leave it at that. Something had a question mark because nobody does that to you.
No.
They, as long as you can generate your own money, they'll let you study all day. But then he died before he can write final notes. So those 2 things tell you this is inconclusive. So for you to try to sell it as if it is, and then he in the background, and I'm like, dude, you older than me, you 60 something. What are you doing, bruh? Who's breathing like a bitch?
Man, I had him so mad. He called me motherfucker this and you motherfucker that.
Man, this dude said he was gonna do something gay to me and something about my feasties.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that shit.
I said, boy, I tell you, get angry, the real you come out.
I told him, I said, and then he's like, well, where's your research? Where? I said, brother, I don't have to show any research because you the one made the stance. So if you gonna make a stand, you have to prove. I know what the research says, but I don't have to show you something. If you're gonna come here and tell me about wages and all this different stuff, and some of the stuff was just so illogical. Like, you're gonna sit here and tell me black women have all this power, but then you want them to help you get power and in turn submit to you with no power.
No, I don't think he believes that. I know,
but that's what he stated.
But I think he states stuff like that because it sells his wolf tickets.
But the average listener is interpreting it from what you're saying.
But you got to understand, this is a person who's been divorced 3 times.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
His kids don't even listen to him. So,
BJ was never married. He was never married.
Huh?
BJ was never married. BJ was never married. BJS, he was never married.
Oh, so what happened to the 3?
Yeah, he said he was married.
Yeah, he said.
He said he never was married. BJ.
Well, he lied.
Oh, he must have lied then.
He lied.
Yeah.
He said he was married multiple times.
No, he never was married.
Well, he lied then.
Well, he lied.
He lied. So he had baby mamas.
Because he's the one. He the one walking around here saying he got divorced 3 times.
Sure did.
And look, nobody asked him. That was stuff he volunteered to the public.
Yeah, he told his all of the family stuff that we know about BGS. He actually disclosed that information. Nobody asked him for that. He stated that.
So if Chaos got one understanding and the rest of us got another understanding, then that's crazy, man, for you to just lie like that. But to each his own.
Yeah, but I'm just what I don't like. I'm gonna say this, and I hate to say this. What I don't like in regards to BGS, and I don't listen to him and so on, but every now and then I will get someone from his camp that will come in my platform when I'm talking about something and challenge me based on what he stated, and I wouldn't pay it any mind. But the fact of the matter is that of all of the guys in the sector, to me, he's the one that gets the least pushback for the shit that he talks about. They do not like. I've seen people question O'Shea, Angry Man, especially I've seen in different stuff, criticisms. But he is the person I've seen say the most stuff with the least pushback. Like he's above being
Well,
reproached.
there's an easy explanation, and I think you'll agree on this explanation, because the public doesn't generally like academics, but an academic that agrees with their narrative, why would they push that back?
Right.
Or I can't even call him an academic, a person who reads literature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But one reason I knew he wasn't really good at discussions is because anytime I say, okay, Chaos has a blue icon. Well, let me ask you a question. No, don't ask me no questions. State your statement. Don't ask me no qualifiers, because you're looking for a qualifier to justify whatever speech you're about to make. Just make your speech and let the audience decide. He has a problem with that.
Right. He has the issue when I just flat out told him, I'm like, man, you don't understand the fundamentals of research. You're focusing too much on percentages. And I tried to tell him we argued about the Moynihan report, and I'm like, do you realize that in college university they don't discuss the Moynihan report? It's not even seen as good research. It's been debunked. Like, why are we discussing this? And I'm like, the Moynihan report was not designed for some of the things you think it was designed for. I mean, it had nothing to do with these things, brother. I'm like, if you read the Moynihan report, the results, and so on, it does not talk about this represents why black women chose this and chose that.
Exactly. Because
That's not.
you can't capture that mathematically.
Yeah, you can't. And I'm like, you can't come in here saying things from an absolute standpoint.
It's
Not
the same.
stretch in it.
It's the same way somebody said recently to me about the whole black women and white men have the better marriages or last longer. And I said, okay, when you get divorced, where's the box that says I'm a redhead? Where's the box that says I'm Haitian? Where's the box that says I'm Asian? I'm white. Where,
Right.
where when you're divorcing Mrs. Jones versus Mr. Jones, where's the box that they fill out on the paperwork that says what ethnicity you are?
Oh, I never thought that. Never thought that. But
Right.
see, one thing we had to get back to asking the right questions, Mr. Research, and we not ask the right questions because in their mind they think there is salvation going back with these people, and we all know throughout the history, in past, present, and the future, there is no salvation with these people. They say you're only here to serve, nothing more, nothing less.
Well, but this is the one thing that white folks got right. There are black people willing to give away all their gold because Africa has resources.
Yes.
And they're willing to do it until their detriment. And the same thing with a lot of melanated people. When you look back in the racist times of Jim Crow, who did the white man make the most fun of? The laughing and joking black man. You see
Right.
pictures, you see pictures of
Facts.
it everywhere. Two black men laughing, two black men jawing.
Yeah, like the cartoon pictures, the big, ooh, ugly
Why,
ones. Yeah.
you got to ask yourself, out of all of the hateful things, why is the white man making that one image more than every other image? It's more than the droopy faced black man. It's the laughing, joking black man.
Right.
That man, and look at life as a joke.
Right.
Everything is laughing, grinning, everything. They're here to make you smile.
And then you know, like you look at the black dudes who did stand up, or the black dudes who did fight back. Like I tell people all the time, yeah, as much as they did to Jack Johnson or even Frederick Douglass, these dudes walking around with women of other races. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm saying that there has to be some power in pushing back or willing to die. The whole set us free, let us be free. I think that's really what's backfiring. Just like with the manosphere, complaining about women just makes more women angry at black men, because none of those women remember when black women were creating all these anti-black men statements. Nobody remembers it. All they see now is a way to weaponize the black man. That's why I did that video recently, reading comments from white males about divestors. And the white males were telling the divestors, no, we don't care about none of that stuff y'all talking about. And then here come the black women. Yeah, but black men this and black men that. And I said, I find it very ironic. Here is a comment section of mostly white men talking to black women, and they still make it a black man discussion.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say. My mic was me. I said it lets them know, Mr. Research, that I cannot bring myself to be opposition to Brad. It destroys my chances of getting a chance to have that Brad moment, so that he could take me on, marry me, and rescue me through this hellhole. That's why they can't bring themselves to do that. Because by doing that, you show them, say, you don't like me, so I'm not gonna really look into you like that, because you're showing your true hand. So I gotta keep talking about this black man to hope to be in good grace with you. But we all know that's a lie, because he already made the condition. He made the obvious admitting that he doesn't want nothing to do with you personally.
I just came from a date earlier. Very terrible, bad date.
Oh wow.
No, and it's cool, but there's a point I'm making. It don't matter. It don't matter. I don't have to figure out nothing. Old girl got to figure herself out. Old girl either is going to get a better date next time or something, because in a couple of years her options are going to run out. And that's just how it is. Chicks got to get somewhere to get protection. Dudes got to get somewhere to get their soul nourished.
But one thing I do want to ask you: the video you did where you revealed the comment section, was this recent? Because I'm not sure if you still put video on YouTube.
Yeah. I did it a couple of days ago. I did two versions.
Is that what you can put in the back chat, if possible?
Oh, yeah. I'll put it back there.
Yeah, because I sometimes I subscribe to people and I watch. I'm not doing this research.
Everybody's shadow banned, brother.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm subscribed to, but like I said, I had to watch some other content because I'll be honest with you, the content out here is cool, but it's nothing really desirable personally. Because I need people to really start showing receipts and really show the other side personally. Because people are very comfortable with the talking points. Some of them are really comfortable, be honest, with their delusions. And when you show the receipts, it's like you want to still stay in this delusion box because it feeds the narrative because you don't be clear with reality. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's past talking points. I think it's full blown speeches. People make speeches and pass it off as information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot of misinformation.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's my problem. Like I'm dealing with stuff right now with the autism community on my other channel. Battling me on things about autism, and I'm trying to tell them, and they think that they can diagnose themselves, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong? What the hell is wrong with the youth, man? I don't get it, man. It's just a lot of that stuff, man. But I have gotten so much pushback on stuff that in my normal life, like people pay me to say stuff and do things, and for some reason, people just think they know certain things more than I do, and what I do every day. Like at a high level. At that, like I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna say this to brag on myself or nothing like that. But any major crisis that happens in the state of Texas, I'm gonna say this: since 2015, every major crisis that have happened in the state of Texas, I've been consulted in at least 80% of those situations. The last one, Uvalde, within 5 hours after that occurred, I got an email.
Right.
And I'm sitting here like, how you gonna argue with me? And how is it that other communities recognize my talent, but then you want to argue with it?
Because you're academic.
And
That's
it's
the problem.
crazy.
That's the problem. Like Chaos said, you got books. No, I'm not being funny. We are the I've recently been looking at this over the past couple of months. Immigrants who tell their kids to get educated are doing halfway decent and okay. The blacks who laugh at education, who say you trying to have a title, you want to be white, their kids are failing. Their kids are the workers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But see, this is the issue I have with that. With people with our community saying this. So if we're getting education and that means you're trying to be white, but what does blackness mean?
They
Dumb.
they don't they don't want to look
Defeative.
at that.
There's no
Stupid.
debate. There's no positive definition for blackness.
They don't want to look
No,
at
no.
that.
You want to know what blackness is? Let's be honest. Anything that is what they call forward is backwards. So if you're talking educating being white, what that says you backwards, dumb, the opposite. But you had to throw the logic to them because if you don't throw the logic, they're not going to understand it. So you're trying to be white. So okay, I'm trying to be white. So what's the opposite of being white? And then what benefit it has? Because you live in a capital society where you have to learn, attain, and apply as best as possible. And if you're here just to waste time in this waste space and not improving, learning, and applying anything, you're stagnant. You're dumb. You get me? Matter of fact,
Yeah, I'm listening.
it's easy. It's easy now. Why most of our people, the youth, especially boys, into sports, because doing other stuff, it requires you to do work, which most parents, as much as I want to say, and you're gonna hate me for this either, are very much lazy. Your child should not be investing in things that are simple and easy. They should be doing things that is challenging, that will better their mind and their development. Anything less than that, you are creating a dummy. That's why you see a lot of these black males that we have to deal with, DERELL, are adults will fight other fucking black men because they raised and groomed to be fucking dumb. That's why when KS tried to did what he did towards men for the last 3 years and it failed. I tell you why, because the males you deal with were already dumb from the fucking start. They have no emphasis, they have no strive, no importance. And I'll speak honest from another black man personally. And we gotta be honest with each other that there's no emphasis of any improvement for black men. Personally.
Right.
And the ones that do, you get, but even if they didn't want nothing to do with other black men, personally. But they sure as hell want to fucking complain about it. Personally. And I say you have no skin in the game because you tapped out. You shouldn't be talking about niggas. Why the fuck you still over here? Oh, I see why. Because you're not accepted anywhere else. You can't talk that black shit in front of your white friends. They're gonna look at you as crazy. They don't got the That's why I tell niggas the whole reason why the world remains the way it is and how we remain in a certain state because we are trained and operate into backwardsness.
Right.
What is up must have to be down. And we look at down, not up. Opposites. It keeps you off balance. And that's how the Europeans want to see you off balance and confused and dumb. Because now, while you're in that state of mind, he could thrive in his degeneracy and keep doing what he's doing. You know? That's why he always had to, every year he always does his reflection check on where the mindset of black people are today by putting out propaganda, things that has no relevance to niggas, like certain media outlets, certain things, distractions. They put us out here as a G check to check where your mind is at, Negroes. That's how this game works. Social media is a weapon. He wants to know what you're thinking. Anytime you put up gossip and foolishness, he already know you're not even thinking anything of something better. His reign and power.
Right.
We made it too easy on him now, DERELL. Personally. And it's reflective now. Just like when I did content on Lori Harvey and Michael Jordan, at times I don't like to deal with it, but I can see why it's just for the eyeballs. But the point is this, that a lot of people waste too much time on people that bring no substance to the black community. They never have no will. What benefits LeBron James as benefits the black race? As
Right.
is nothing. That's why I tell people these little accomplishments don't help facilitate us as black people in America or anywhere beyond. All that shows that there's another black face on the white rulership. And that's the honest truth. It is the honest truth. Nothing's changed for us. Nothing will change. And we're not going to see no change. That's why I asked Tony Maceo this person. Tony Maceo, for black people to get where they're at and how things need to be changed, does there have to be a greater collapse? And he said yes. Because when things collapse, everybody's at square one again. As long as we're not at square one, we're always going to have these problems. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
Anything else, DERELL? Because you pushed almost 4 hours, and I think I was gonna be up here talking this long.
Yeah, man. I'm getting ready to call it a day. I'm getting.
I need to get some rest, bro.
Yeah, man. It's 2:08 where I'm at. I know you on the East Coast, but yeah, man. Appreciate you for coming in, man. I'm gonna have my live stream tomorrow around 2:30 ish. I'm gonna be focusing on my little situation with BGS, and I mean, I was surprised. I mean, Amiri's channel is really growing a lot. So I mean, he's attracting a lot of people coming up there and stuff. And I like the fact that he, bringing different people and stuff on there. So definitely got a good channel that I'm drawing to. So
yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep pushing.
Right.
I see the direction where it's going. Like I said before, what happened? Like I said, it's gonna be. I tell people many times, and they're gonna hear us first. It's gonna be a lot of changes in the chat room from either side, and what goes on in the panels. Personally, so change is coming down the line. So I hope people don't get too comfortable, both the men and women. And I say both because we are race people. We have to deal with the balanced side because you can't talk about one thing without the other. I
Right.
know most black people want to hear that. And I say, if I do that, I'm shoot myself in the foot. I'm never was like that. You know what I'm saying? I will
Right.
say something about the women, but also I will probably make a conscious effort to say something about these dudes too when needed. Because if one person is staying one side, nothing gets done. Personally, you know, I don't expect
Right.
everybody to check everybody else, but I tell people I gotta keep it neutral. Personally, you know what I'm saying? So that's my mission. But anyway, I'm going to sleep. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Right. All right, guys, I'm going ahead and get out of here. I hope you all have a good night. I will be going live around 2:30 tomorrow. Y'all have a good night and appreciate you all for supporting the channel. Peace.